All right, everyone. I want to thank you all so much for joining us on this wonderful Thursday evening, right here on Lionhead Gaming, for some more D&D. And since it is Thursday, that means it is time for Song of Rapture, as DM'd by Monsieur Omen. Everyone's here, everyone's rearing and ready to go. So without further ado, Monsieur Omen, what do you have for us tonight?
So when we last left our valiant vanguard, they had not faced too much trouble. They had since left it all behind after defeating a dragon and finding themselves now free of worry or cause here in the city of Roka, and have spent their first day within the walls preparing for a great challenge they have set for themselves by doing some sightseeing. But what exactly transpired last session is not necessarily my story to tell, so could someone tell me what happened in the last episode of Song of Rapture?
Yeah, last time on Song of Rapture, we sort of got up to a little bit of nonsense going around town, but we started off a late night as we had just gotten into town and met Tamar Khan, my brother, I'm Tamar Khan, Mandri Khan, and had a nice conversation trying to find a way to fix Luna's arm. We got that done, thankfully enough. With a little bit of strange interplanar travel, soul-searching type magic to make her face her demons. And at the end of the day, we all retired after having a nice lunch with the Lord, the King of Wizards, and yeah. But Tamar Khan was out, hanging out with his brother, and one of our party members was up to something a little bit more out there. Very far out there. Miles and miles away out there, as Persephone went dream hopping once again, but this time hoping for something a little bit more pleasant, as she was actually searching for the dream of her old master, as the tales of home, the whispers on the winds, the rumors that are going about, apparently had gotten her a little bit concerned about what all was happening, as she found herself in a little wooded hut in the middle of the forest, inside of a dream where she met the very large man, Erisov, who greeted her warmly, apparently quite aware of the state that they were both in, visiting within a dream, as he was her instructor. He knew all about such things. They talked a bit about her goings-on, the people she's met, but most importantly spoke of her brother, the rumors that he was to be married, and apparently Arasov was very aware of such things, hearing the rumors, but one very important fact, actually, that apparently he wasn't just being married to any old noble of the elven lineage, but actually a creature of the Fae, something that had not happened basically since the recorded history of Roka. So, without all of that happening, Persephone had only one real recourse, wanting to actually visit in person, not wanting to risk it through the dream, I guess. Wanted to make sure that everything was alright, because it was all very confusing. But with that, he said farewell to her master, some heartfelt goodbyes as he laid down in a bed of flowers, as he's not dead, she just left the dream. But he came back, and then we started up our next day, some of us rising a little bit later than others. But yeah, venturing out into the town, first stop stepping into the arena to check up on some competition. We wanted to spread our name, and this seemed like a perfect opportunity to do so. We wanted to see if we could sign up for something, and we were presented with a man, Vin Katali. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And he gave us basically 3 different options. Excuse me, the big events going on in the next couple of days at the height of the celebration, the coming of the new year. Basically, there were some smaller things, but obviously the Valiant Vanguard were not looking for something minor. We wanted to be the stars of the show. So we were given one, a test against man and might and magic. to eventually face off against the champion of the arena, to a fight against beasts, and at the end of it all, the resurrected body of a gigantic serpent that seemed to have made the desert its home long, long ago, that only is resurrected once a year during this festivities. And last, the great constructs that is apparently the Wizard King made himself to sort of protect the city and to challenge people in the arena, sort of a symbol of his might. We decided after a little bit of a discussion, Samantha very eager to try to face off the champion to steal his title, but other of our members were a little bit hesitant in going into the arena to fight basically innocent people, certainly people that have signed up to fight, but didn't really feel comfortable maybe having the possibility of taking people's lives. So we figured go for the beasts instead. It was a once-a-year occurrence, so might as well be part of it. So we made the agreement, signed up, we headed on to the next site, to the great pyramid, the necropolis, in the middle of the ziggurat. The middle of the city, the ziggurat, yes. As same fucking thing. As we headed inside and we met a woman named Aloras, the guide of this place, and a practitioner, a follower of the gods herself. She explained, sort of giving us the tour as we passed through sort of these winding hallways, just kind of circled the building up and down, showing the different sections depicted for each gods, showing just a little bit of the facets of each one. But after we finished the tour, we sort of only had one place we really wanted to go, some of us having a deeper connection to the gods than others. The one to the trickster god Malah, the great god of beasts and secrets. As Tamar Khan actually even wanted to have a little look-see, as not exactly close to the gods, but if there's any one that might ring true to his ears, something a little bit similar to home, would be the creature that lords over beasts and secrets. As even a little detective work found, little depiction of a tricksy monkey on the walls. But the most important thing found in there was a large statue of a beautiful woman standing made of stone in a room filled with other statues that sort of ringed around her in strange depictions, some in fear, some in reverence, and most spectacularly, the hair made of serpents. As in front of this statue, we found a man, one that we met once before. Not all of us, actually just a few of us at this point. A man that actually we saw back in the festival back in Oakwell, one of the contestants in the sword fighting competition. That apparently learned that he was a follower of the Serpent Empress, and had some words to share between himself and Samantha, the Yuan-Ti speaking on what their people had become, the hollowness that they had been left with, and the journey, I suppose, this individual was on to try to reclaim the voice of his goddess. After that, with a little bit of a merrymaking of Tamar Khan to cut the mood, we moved on, had our fill of that, as we all sort of went our separate ways. Some of us going deeper into the city, Swift Hollow, finding sort of the lost places in the heart of the city, something even underneath its surface, a black market of sorts, where she conversed with some individuals to find her place once again, seeing if she could maybe make some purchases, gain some information. I don't remember what you actually did down there, I'm sorry.
Bought himself some interesting little trinkets for obviously the sake of gambling.
That's gambling stuff, yeah.
I basically bought con artist items, fake dye that change their faces, and I forgot what the deck does.
A deck, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Marked cards or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't marked. There's something special about what the card faces did. I think they also changed.
Mm-hmm.
It basically just changed what card it was through magic.
Mm-hmm.
Tamar comes back to hang out with his brother to sort of scout him out, to see what his habits were for the coming day. So he was hatching a plan himself. We had Quildor went off to find apparently a past maybe love interest of sorts, as finding her within a far-off place in the city. Try to reconnect with past loves, maybe. I don't remember what Persephone Luna's method did after that point.
What'd you guys do?
Actually checked out more than Acropolis because she wanted to learn about the spiritual stuff, as she needed to learn some more about her magic, as she decided that she might even want to hang out a bit for quite a while, actually, maybe even being left behind with our venture onward to promote ourselves, to learn more of her strange shadowy magic. That's all I got.
What did you do, Persephone?
Persephone went exploring around the elven market, just getting to know the unique elven history of Roka. Because Roka had deep elven roots, but the elves there seemed to be more not quite from Illyria. So she learned a little bit about their culture and what it is that made them very much different, and bought some trinkets and even made some new friends while she was there who offered a place to stay if she ever needed it. Or especially if she needed a place to hide. And then went off into the Warrens to play some cards and learn a little bit about gambling. And it turns out she's really good at playing cards. So much so that it was suggested to her that perhaps she should go to the Noble District to try her hand there. And would even bring a friend that she met at one of the tables and invited the rest of the Valiant Vanguard to go along with her.
Nice. As indeed it seemed, unless there's anything else wanted to fit in there, more or less what you guys accomplished in your first day. As, let's see,
We also found out that Magnus was in town.
Seems like with some carousing, walking through the city on Samantha's part, trying to get a good feel of what the nobility is like here. She stumbled across a couple of individuals. It seemed like some pretty not quite flamboyant, but very expressive individuals. A lot of far travelers from different lands, but some locals here who seem quite ecstatic and excited to be within the golden walls of Roka. One of them being a sometimes seemingly omnipotent individual who hails from the great city of Broken Ridge, a small opportunistic halfling who runs what he denies to be a magical pawn shop for arcane trinkets and the like, one short Magnus McDonald. But alas, we rejoin our heroes on the coming day, but we will stop for one quick second as Tamarkan and Persephone give yourselves some DM inspiration.
I still have mine.
Well, then you guys have to roll a D100.
Roll it.
42.
Get 99.
As we left
Remember?
our friend Quildor reuniting with an old companion of his and entering into what looks to be a very fabulous, very lovely, smoke-filled brothel known as the Silken Seabed. A place that it seemed the Valiant Vanguard would be meeting in later in the night to do some gambling of their own. But in this time, it seems that there is some business to be hashed out in Quildor's time, as we will enter this scene. One moment, there we go. Of Quildor. You find yourself in a somewhat familiar place as you were once before. You've been to the Silken Seabed a couple times, though your intentions were always far purer than the other patrons who visit this place. Instead, you find yourself in probably one of the most relaxing rooms in this area. A room filled with porcelain and granite tiles that line the floor and walls. There is a fog here, not created from the hookah smoke that otherwise permeates through the rest of this facility. Instead, it rises from this great bubbling pool of water you find yourself in, just enjoying yourself in the moment with your old companion, Nuzohintha, a beautiful white-scaled Yanti who, in her time of history shared with one another, has seemed to grow a fondness with you. As it seems like you guys are deep in the discussion of something that possibly catching up, talking about your journey together, a journey you've been on the last so many years since you've been here, as we will enter the scene of the Silken Seabed bathhouse. You can see Nuzo, both of you were still wearing tight, basically waterproof clothing, unless you're just going stark just enjoying yourselves in the warm water. You know that she enjoys the heat of this bubbling bath because, possibly due to her reptilian nature, a bit of a relaxation, allowing herself to be soothed into this very relaxing warmth. As all around you can see workers are currently like filling, it looks to be buckets or like small troughs of hot water, if only to wash themselves off, wash some of the sweat. It seems like they've been dancing for most of the day. And you know, as you would enter this place, beyond the door that leads to the rest of the brothel, is one of her closest compatriots who seems to be guarding the door in case anyone were to accidentally disturb you guys. As Nuzo would be sort of just relaxing in the water, letting some of it rush up into her silvery white hair, and you can see her skin go from like this slate white almost to a soft pink as if her, I guess, half-human blood begins to boil within. It has been some time since I've shared these waters with you, my elf. It is a pleasant memory.
I would concur. Tell me, how goes the trade routes?
These tides are uncertain in recent days. Trade within the White Sea and across the Scorchlands. Always simple. A sail and a skimmer, and anywhere you wish for, travels with ease. But beyond that, the lands of Mobia, it is a challenge. Skimmers do not work well on the roads. Those not soft with sand, it takes wagons. And Runga has been an interesting challenge for us. They have been shifting their trade away from the Great North up to Skyreach. I'm certain you've heard of the rumblings coming from the mountains. How difficult taking a wagon up those trails has become.
Indeed. I've heard there hasn't been trade with Skyreach for several months.
It is quite frustrating, I suppose is the word.
What if we could fix that?
Is that why you've come all this way, my elf? To speak with me of business? To offer me your work? Did you not miss me?
That is the second reason why I came here. Never the first.
So humble and so proud. So you're offering yourself for work?
I'm offering the Dragon Slayers for work.
I had heard tale that there would be recent dragon slayers visiting Roka. Truth be told, I never thought it would be you. You're always so gentle. But you do carry a blade with you. A careful man who I was certain is protecting someone.
I know when to be gentle, and I know when to pull my blade.
As wise as always. So your party then, you think they can brave the trek up that great mountain with all of its rumblings and creaking and quakes? Brave men have fallen from its peaks since these times. Many wares have been lost. I could not trust my precious jewels to anyone. Not just anyone, Gwildor.
Of course. That's why you have me leading it. Have I ever failed you?
Only when you ventured past these walls, and I've had to wait many years for your return. Only that feeling of loss. That is the only instance, I suppose. But are you doing this out of the kindness of your heart? For affection?
Well, I wish I could say that, but my party does not do things out of just affection.
Do you have an offer for me? A price to your work.
Well, I figure we can take a large caravan from here, and then also connect up with others in Darunga, and go through there to Skyreach.
You claim not only my trade, but the trade of others who fail to travel to the north. Is quite a burden to take on to yourself, Quildor.
Well, I've found that burdens are easily lifted with others.
It's so remarkable. Last time I saw you, you carried yourself with the air of a lone wolf. And yet you find yourself walking and carrying among others so easily.
A lone wolf can only survive for so long, and must find its pack.
Such adorable wisdoms you share. Well, I will inform you of the situation. It has been some time indeed since we have provided our gems, our diamonds especially, to the High Church in Skyreach. They were, for quite some time, Roka's greatest buyer of their precious gems. I believe there is religious value to such purity in the sediment. We have 3 caravans, 3 skimmers of supplies that we have held on to for this time, searching for other buyers, but none could take our supplies, not with the coin we offer for them. I can only imagine what Zuro and Dino would be offering. As sort of speaking of that, your mind sort of goes back. Zuro, Dino, couple of traders you've met, sort of interconnected with this group of other scaled individuals, sort of making a trifecta of traders across the White Sea. The other 2 being located in the city of Darunga, where most of trade actually transpires.
I wanted to give you the first opportunity.
The first opportunity. Quildor. Just as you say, your friends will not work for coin, I must ascertain. You must understand. I too am a woman of business, and you are not the first to offer. In fact, tonight I will be humbling an offer from another particular skilled group, if only to hear their price.
So you would go with someone that you've never done business with, over someone like me?
I understand there are biases, but I can assure you this group's reputation has preceded them for quite some time. I've never truly worked with these gilded coffers, but their name travels far and their reputation is quite strong. They have hands in many pockets and skilled workers and laborers in every corner of this country.
I'm just gonna slide over. That is true. I've heard of their work in Crossways. They are strong, but also corrupt, also violent for no need. And truly, they may have their hands in several pockets, but, as I just slide my hand around her waist, truly, you would prefer my touch to theirs.
Roll me a persuasion check.
We'll see.
Oh. As you can see, like, sliding on next to her in the water, letting your hands slip behind her back and sort of rest on her waist. She kind of just looks in the water for a moment and looks up at you with these bright golden eyes. And you can see an expression that you've certainly had to work for to really see from her, at least in the genuine sense. This really soft smile, gently carving up her face, a genuine smile. You certainly know how to work your charm, my elf. I will keep you in mind, but I will still hear this offer. I do not know, and truly, I do not particularly care for the darkness that lies in their business. We work in trade. It is all part of the game we play to make it in this world. But I will keep my eye and ear on them. I know your skill, Gwildor. I have seen it myself, and now you come to me with a reputation behind your name. You are more than Sand Whisperer now. You are Dragon Slayer. If you wish for assurance, I can say this. As great as this gilded coffer may be, as far spread and many numbered as they may be, they will have to fight and prove themselves quite hard to overcome your accomplishments in my eye.
Wonderful. I have one more thing to ask.
You ask more of me? My attention, my touch? What else could you possibly want, Gwildor?
The event, the festival that is coming. We have signed up for it. I'm sure word will be spoken of it quite soon. We're taking on the trial of the beast.
Of course you would. I pray it is not overconfidence that pushes you. It is, of all three, possibly one of the most deadly for those unprepared.
Indeed. I seek help in my preparation for the event. I seek gems, a large amount. With my winnings, I will pay it back. Nearly 10,000 worth of it.
And as you say that, you can feel that hand on her waist sort of slip for a moment as she does slide a little bit away from you. 10,000 of gems. Gwildor. You surely must be joking. That is an incredible wealth of my material.
I do not ask it easily or quickly. It will aid in making sure that I survive not only this trial, but the caravan as well. And if we should fail, not only will I pay you back the gold, as surely you have heard dragons have large and substantial hoards, I will serve you and stay here for the next 50 years.
And there he is once more, that lone wolf.
But if I'm here with you, I would not be alone.
Roll me another persuasion check.
I'm gonna use my DM inspiration.
Sure.
That's not how that works.
As her eyes look you up and down, Coolor, now with a bit of suspicion to her expression. You speak with confidence. That is why you make this offer. You believe you will win this and come out fine. Pay me back. And with a fortune that, well, I can only hope you would have so much on you, my elf. I'm sorry. It is a gamble that I do not participate in. I would be happy to sell you gems, were you to have this dragon's wealth upon you, but something tells me it is not in your pocket.
Not the amount that I need, no.
You are an elf, Bulldor. You are a patient elf. I would hope to see more from you.
Perhaps after you meet my friends, you may change your mind. We will not lose. There's one that is among us that is like you, though nowhere near your beauty or intellect, but of the sand herself.
I see. Perhaps she might find herself at home here. There are numerous sisters to acquaint herself with.
She does not strike me as an individual that would find home here. She seeks out the serpent goddess.
And you can see as soon as you say that, her soft little smile just immediately just drops. Ah. Very well.
Indeed.
At any rate. You do have my ear, Quildor. I will hear your offer. What would you have of me? I have 3 caravans of goods to trade, and I believe in time, if word can reach our associates of the Seven Sails or the Seekers of the Lost Seas, perhaps we may align a group of caravans for you to take, but that might be near 10 in total. Can your dragon slayers handle so many supplies, so much responsibility that lies on the teetering edge of a quaking mountain?
I have no doubt.
And there's that confidence again. Very well. We shall discuss matters further. Perhaps when you've conquered this trial of yours. I wish to see it myself. To see how you function with these new allies of yours. I want to see this wolf and his pack. But in this moment, and she just sort of like waves her hand, and these women around sort of just like get up, take their supplies, and walk out of the room. I don't want to see you with anyone else. As she will excuse everyone from the bathhouse and leave you two for some privacy for the remaining of this late afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. As some time will pass in the city of Roka, the high hanging sun that shines beautifully and golden over this great city will start to fall, and as you saw the night before, it seems the sky takes on this sort of amber turned red turned violet hue that seems to bask all the bright colors beyond the gold in the city in this sort of glimmering low light, as if the gems were finally shining in this great jewel. As night has come to Roka.
Before Swift Hollow leaves the underbridge, she will invest in a bag of holding.
Ooh.
The big comical ones too. She wants one of those big sacks. Just in case.
You're gonna have to roll
Just in
me a
case.
d20.
Woo!
I believe in you, Peter.
Yeah, I believe in me too.
Knapsack,
Get that Santa sack.
knapsack.
Nap, zap,
Get
sack,
that
nap,
Santa
sack.
sack.
Woo! 15.
Yeah, you're basically carousing for a particular magic item. Not a hard one to make, but unlike the city of Cradle Keep, where everyone is a frequent practitioner of magic, most of the magic in this city that doesn't come from the Wizard King and his sort of constructs and contraptions comes from the elven blood of the people who live here. A lot of it's more innate than it is learned, and thus the ability to create magic items a bit more sparse. Most of them you'd find over in the Market District, but fortunately, you do find a small stand of sorts, sort of carrying bags, and like there's backpacks and pouches And even when we find a long, dark sack, about 4 feet long, 2 feet at the mouth, it looks like something you just sort of store general tools in, but the material is like svelte and dark, and if it were hiding, maybe like in some dim light, like off in some shadows, if you didn't have a sharp elven eye, you possibly wouldn't have noticed it, as it seems like, pointed out, yeah, seems like it's a special bag capable of holding more than it appears. The person who owns it would be willing to sell it for about 1,000 gold.
Thank you, Black Box. Yep. She'll sell that too. Buy it off of them. And look, the Black Box is considerably lighter.
Hey, nice. Yeah, you buy yourself a bag of holding with a slight noticeable change to this one. Its ability allowing it to basically become harder to discern or find in dim or dark light.
Nice,
or dim light or darkness.
Because with Hollow sort of a cheat, just in case something goes wrong and she needs to abscond, she can just pull out the big ol' mouth and then just shovel everything in and make a break for it.
Nice.
Don't gotta pussyfoot around with some small opening and try to shovel all the coins inside of it, just in case.
All right. So unless there's anything else you guys want to do as the sun is setting.
I mean, I've
Going
been
once?
gambling for the last ever.
Okay.
After
Basically-
carousing through this whole area. That's what I would
Yeah,
look for.
bouncing around. Okay. Let's see. Roll me. How are you gambling? What are you doing while you're gambling?
I'd be looking for games that seem interesting to me, like things that she can understand, but definitely allow her to utilize her talents, anything that would allow her to sort of not so much try to read people, but keep herself from being read, and also try just sort of leaning on her ability to deceive people, make people think she has especially like something like Texas Hold'em would be something she would go for heavily.
Sure. You would find in your carousing there is one great game played across this city, sort of an old elven tradition, a 3-card sort of deception game known as Three Dragons Ante. Something that they love to play in the Elven district, but interesting way they play it. Essentially, it is a game where you draw a card, you either just a set bet, either you raise a bet, set a bet, or fold. Eventually go around in circle till everyone has a single bet, and then you draw another card. Same deal, draw another card. These cards are sort of measured in their value based on which dragon you pull, and so a lot of it's trying to discern and make people think that though you hold in your hand, if you're raising or setting a bet, is a confident hand. Really good to roll your deception into. The other game you find is a game called Devil's Dice. It is a game where you roll a handful of dice, keep your rolls hidden, and try to, in a similar way, raise a bid on top of this. And the only option someone has is either to raise that bid or to try and call the person out on their bid as being false. If their bid does not match the numbers they roll, then the person who attempted to challenge them loses. If it turns out that they were lying, the liar loses. A game all about deception and misleading people, or perhaps simply just reading your opponent. For those, I would say give me 3 deception checks, or dice or card set checks, or both with advantage, or either rather with advantage if you're proficient in both.
Roger that. So just 3 straight deception checks then for me.
Yeah. Oh, mama. Let's see. Okay, so you are gambling over in the Noble District, and you found it that you are quite capable at just simply deceiving people. Just able to, even without having to read them, you don't need to know what they hold in their hand, because it's all about making sure they don't know what you hold in yours. It's all about basically controlling the entire table. And through that, for just maybe like a few hours, starting off small, testing coins, eventually moving on to higher points, you would earn yourself... damn, mama. Let's see, exactly 80. Okay. Nice. Yeah, you have earned yourself a healthy pouch full of 440 gold pieces. Though you have, as a result, made something of a reputation of yourself, you are quite a dangerous person to gamble against.
Indeed. So, realizing that eventually these poor saps who have lost all their money need to eventually go to sleep, Samantha would sort of just make her way through town, just sort of familiarizing herself with the almost infinite time that she has before eventually returning to the palace to rest and make sure that her kobolds didn't burn the place down or kill a guard or something.
Okay. As it seems like you make your way around town, seems like this side of the district where the nobles live is quite a hodgepodge in its own weirdly strange, like beautiful but ill-fit way. There are buildings that match the culture and size and structure of all the more luxurious buildings here in Roka, but there are others that have been definitely carved and designed in ways that don't fit. Maybe something that maybe someone from Broken Ridge at the far side of Mobia might feel more at home with. Large buildings carved in the shape of like castles, or simply just like a large, more like modern buildings. Again, one might find it an eyesore, but it is quite well made. Just and same way you go to Vegas and you go down, you'll see like a castle on the strip, and there's a pyramid over here. Like this doesn't belong, but it does look nice.
Yeah. So with Samantha has a strange appreciation for stonework, but she does find the juxtaposition quite jarring.
Okay. As returning back to the palace, maybe just to gather some things or rest, you would be, I guess all of you guys, maybe except for Quildor, who still remains, would be possibly stopped by Persephone, who had just learned at this point some interesting news about where to make some money.
So apparently I'm really good at Three Dragons Ante. And my new friend Crom suggested that because I was so good, we could probably go gambling at the Silken Seabed Brothel. So what do you guys say? Tomorrow night?
Samantha just sort of holds the sack of coins. I've done pretty well for myself tonight. I suppose another night of taking money from easily deceived elves would not be too much trouble.
Run for me?
I mean, I have nothing really
Game.
better to do.
Do enjoy playing cards.
That's great. Do you think Quildor will want to come? I'm going to invite Quildor anyways, next time I see him.
Quildor, would you be at the palace or would you be spending your night at the brothel?
Oh, I'm hanging out with my lady. It's been
Okay.
About 55 years, so.
A hot second.
Mm-hmm.
How old?
I was a hot
is she?
20-year-old. Now she's a hot 70-year-old.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't she a grandmother? Your auntie don't live that long.
Why do you think her scales are white, bro?
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
She aged.
Grow well, apparently.
All right.
in a very magical city. She
what's
keeps it
the
tight.
dip?
It's good.
Oof.
She does her
Okay.
calisthenics. Well,
I don't like this
it's
game
been
anymore.
fun. It's been fun, everyone. Thank you all so
everyone.
much for watching. This
As
has been
okay.
Linehead Gaming.
As if there's nothing else, we would continue on to the second day. Is there anything else you guys want to do throughout the day? Just sort of going over things. It doesn't sound like anyone wants to do any particular grand activities. Just more so carousing, shopping, talking to people. What are you up to, Tamar Khan?
Hanging out with my brother and doing the annoying younger brother shtick all day.
Like, what does that entail, my friend?
I'm not gonna leave him alone. I start off with some nice things. I go over to hang out with him in the garden, just sort of, catch up on some stuff. I offer to go get him some food and some drinks and things, ask him what he likes, and then come back and just every time he goes to do something, I follow him around and ask him what he's doing and why. If he stops doing that, I'll ask him why he stopped doing that. And every once in a while, whenever he starts to concentrate something, I might accidentally splash him with some water. I might accidentally throw a rock at the side of his head. Just little pestering things all day long. Until finally, when it gets real late, I probably go back to check up on the party when it starts getting later. When I start hearing everybody's coming back from TikTok, I guess. Go back and check it out with them, but then I'm right back to it. I'm back to bugging him until it gets real late, and then finally, I offer to get him, a nice drink. Then feel like some tea, I'll get some myself, get him his favorite, and then I tell him that, I'm gonna do my own little meditation if I could next to the mirror pool and actually calm down and meditate myself and just sort of watch him while also trying to commune with just the spirit of this play. He says, actually have a nice calming moment for like an hour or so with my brother, just sort of observing what he's doing. And then when it starts to get real late after that hour, I start to test him a bit. As I see him sitting in his little pagoda, meditating himself, I start to approach ever so slightly, see if he rouses, see if I can walk around him, see if he seems to be aware of me, see if he's actually asleep, and just sort of test my luck ever so much, even more and more, to the point where I am basically poking and prodding him with the final excuse of, hey, I'm heading back for the night. I'll see him early tomorrow morning.
Alright, seems
What do I learn?
like he's been pretty not unresponsive, but very patient at first. The way he sort of tolerates your behavior in a very knowing way. As you begin to sort of prod and pester him, it does become obvious that maybe despite all of his age and wisdom, that he is not easy to manipulate, but with your very blunt way of just sort of gathering his attention and trying to shake him up a bit, just trying to see how easy he is to disturb. It seems like he has gotten used to his privacy here in the gardens, and your presence has become definitely something of a nuisance to him, to the point where when you show up, it's no longer this like wide smile. It's almost like when you see I guess it is exactly when you see your little brother show up for like the third day in a row, and you're just sort of like resigning to this existence of yours.
Yep, I am just being exhausting.
And it does seem like once you're sneaking around him, getting close to him, stepping ever so closely with your quiet little feet, he doesn't seem to move, doesn't seem to budge. But the moment your hand or anything touches him, he very calmly opens his eyes and is made aware of your presence. Oh yeah.
Do my little test and prods, then I make my excuse to leave, and I'll head back for the evening. I've already observed him the night before while I was out so late. Doesn't seem like he ever leaves this garden. I'll probably do the same thing tonight, though. After I leave, I will sort of sneak back, get a good vantage point where I don't think he'll be able to see me, and just sort of watch him for a couple more hours, see if he leaves the garden or if he just seems to spend another night out here, and then I'll leave at basically like midnight.
Sure. Whenever he's sort of like left to his own devices and you're just sort of quietly just observing him from the distance, still going off of that original stealth roll back in the day, seemed like you're quite capable of keeping tail on him without him really noticing you. He seems to be spending most of his time doing rounds across this entire stretch of garden itself, usually starting off at that temple where it seemed like you guys had your sort of group mental experience with Luna. Instead, he comes down to other temples, those older and dilapidated, almost like necropolises covered in vines and roots. He sort of just tends to them, keeping the overgrowth from taking over. There might be like long, like cuts, snaking streams that run through this entire place. He takes his staff and just sort of like breaks away any patches of moss or dirt that have built up and caused part of the flow to have been changed. So he just goes around doing very minor things to keep, not to clean the place necessarily, but to keep the life flowing through here. He doesn't really talk to anyone, except for maybe like at one point you see one of the Kenku having like quietly fluttered with, wingless arms down from the great tower to come speak to them in a sort of cacophony of strange sounds. He relays a message back and the bird goes back on his way. But besides that, he seems mostly undisturbed. The only other guests he seems to have are like animals, birds that have made it past the wall, maybe some fish in the stream he'll like sit next to and feed. Seems very serene and quiet by himself. Yeah.
As it gets late and it seems like he's just doing the same basically ritual that he did the night before, I head off in the deep of night, a little bit after 12 or so, looking in for Swift Hollow, trying to find her.
Sure, she's probably somewhere out and about, maybe back at the palace. doesn't really have anywhere else to go. Just to check in.
Okay.
Look. Suizalo,
Ah. Hmm.
you just caw at me. I suppose you are in. Can I have a moment of your time?
Sure. Is it about
Wonderful.
the
Go into a room,
Opus
close the door.
Magnus or whatever it is called?
I believe so. First step, I suppose, in all of this. I think I have a way of gaining an insight into it, but it requires a bit of help from my brother. Help that I highly doubt he will be willing to give. I need to get my hands upon his for just an hour. He won't be too happy to give it up, no, so I was thinking maybe it's best he not know. At least not immediately. He is a very fan of a certain type of tea. Is there a way? I know your ways with poison. I don't need anything too strong, but something to simply lure a person into sleep. He meditates, but I do not think he truly falls asleep. I am hoping that the exhaustion of the day might take him, but maybe a bit more reassurance. Is this something you could help me out with?
When do you need it? We're only gonna be in the city for maybe a couple more days at best.
Indeed. The end of the final day we're here, so today? For tomorrow we go gamble, and the day after we are within the arena, yes? So by the end of the day with the arena, I'm hoping to get this all done the day we are meant to leave. So if he does catch on, we will be long gone.
I don't like surprises being sprung on me to my con, but
I just thought of
lucky you,
the
I
idea
suppose.
myself.
I can procure something.
Okay. How much, I suppose money? Do you need money for it?
Of course, you're gonna be fronting the cost.
Of course.
Good value. Maybe around 500 gold pieces.
Easily done. I hold out a tiny little coin purse and reach my hand in and just start to shovel out handfuls of coin, far more coin that should be allowed to fit in a tiny little bag, such as I empty out a good amount of gold on the table.
Alright, go get your poison.
Wonderful. Do you know where, how long have you been? I guess you have been with the group about as long as I have. Can I ask you something? Those that have magic in our group, I'm able to see magic. My eyes are quite good, but I cannot do anything against getting rid of it, and I worry my brother may have some protections in place. Do you know of the members of our group that may be willing to aid me in this little endeavor that could get rid of some protections?
Mantha, certainly. She is morally dubious enough that she might be able to help you with, well, whatever you're trying to do with your brother.
That's fine on my law. True enough. I'll go seek her out. Thank you, sweet fellow. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, the other thing. I know your ways. Going gambling, you said you like the cars, yes? What kind of cars do you like?
What do you mean?
Oh, you know. Do you like a good, honest game, or something involving a bit more skill?
I said I like playing cards to my con. I never said I liked gambling.
Ah!
Gambling implies you can lose. She gives you a wink.
Lovely.
Golf clap.
If you ever need any help, I am quite handy with the bit of sleight of hand myself. It is up to you, though. I'll see you tomorrow. Slip out of the room. Going to find some man.
Hey, God.
Mm-hmm.
When I was off carousing with all the nobles and like shooting the shit and doing pleasantries, Samantha things, did I come across or see any like sort of like nice eateries or restaurants or the like in that area?
You definitely would. Again, most of them seem to be more akin to what you'd find like in Broken Ridge or like a nice city like Crossway. Like a lot of places where you can get like a big old cut of mutton, although the prices are very exorbitant. Finding good cattle or goats that haven't been, strained and made tough in the sun's kind of hard without them having to bring some men from outside and rack up them prices. But yeah, there's lots of good places here.
Definitely.
There's also
Like
authentic
that's
places.
sort of like a nice sort of not upper crust per se, but like a quaint sort of like cafe or that kind of deal, like something that sort of strikes that line. Not looking for like something as heavy as like mutton and like.
Closer to the merchant district, you would. The closer you get to the noble district,
Like
they really.
If I was gonna take Madri Khan out to brunch, is there a place that would fit that?
There are places in the merchant district where you could find some simple, just meals and whatnot. Again, most of them are Roken themed, so a lot of rices, a lot of ground grains and pastes, a lot of really well-made aged meat with a lot of savory spices, lots of curries. But yeah, a lot of them out in the merchant district are pretty the same.
Okay, so if I can find some place that seems pretty decent, then I would. This is on the second day before we're gonna go gambling with Persephone, right, in the afternoon or the evening or whatever. Yeah, so I would either the night before or shortly in the morning ask Luna if she wants to go get brunch with me. Go on a brunch date. Yeah, buddy. Luna.
Yeah, Luna, what are you doing
So
at the
was that-
time? You getting asked
Do you
out,
get-
baby?
Do you get brunch with your girlfriend?
There's the question. Do you get brunch with your girlfriend, or are you studying in the death pyramid? Tough choice, I know.
I'm sorry, but like I was told that. I mean, did she tell us I had to come every day?
Not necessarily, but it's just basically, you began this lesson one day. You can take a day off if you want to go do something else, but it is a pretty extensive, sort of time-consuming thing.
Sure, I already
8
plan
other
on.
hours in the day.
Yeah, I already plan on staying for a month. I'll take a day off and go have brunch. So on my way there, can I see if I can find a small cauldron, tiny cauldron? Not really tiny, but like for witchcraft on the go.
Oh, sure, easily enough. You could find one of those and buy it for about 5 copper pieces. This big old slab of iron shaped. You can probably actually find it in the merchant district.
I think that's where we're headed for brunch anyway, so. But nothing too formal. I just wanted to go out and spend some time with just Luna and sort of ask her like what the whole situation is with the death pyramid, since she double backed there after we left. Like, what were you getting yourself involved in with that strange little cat lady?
Well, I've decided that since I'm already so involved with the other side, I might as well try to master that, I guess, for several reasons. One, there's a pretty high possibility that my parents are dead. I've accepted this. I know it, but I'm not going to get that closure unless I talk to them. So if they teach me how to speak with the spirits and they're not dead, then cool. If they are dead, I can still speak with them. And then 2 was also, remember when we were back in Oakwell, I feel like I've told you guys this, about the Autumn Woods' father in the Shadowfell.
I remember that, yes. The strange wolf thing too, right?
Yeah. I want to see what that's all about, but it's a bit too dangerous to try to talk to him there with the werewolf. So it would probably just be easier to bring him here.
Well, I must admit, I've always liked that can-do attitude of yours, and... well, I'm glad that you'll be able to learn these things so quickly. I'm only going to be here for a few days.
So about that, I'm going to be here for 30 days to learn that.
We can't stay here for 30 days. That's far too long.
I mean, you guys can still go, and I'll catch up. There's one of the spells that I got from... God, I can never remember that town's name. It was so fucking irrelevant. Cedarwood.
Cedarwood.
The last place we were at.
Sure.
Cradle Keep.
Cradle Keep.
Close.
Nope.
I don't know why I can never remember that town's name. Either way, one of the spells that I
Just
got
remember
from there
Candlekeep and then think babies, and then there you go.
allows me to summon a weird spectral horse that can move much faster than anything we can acquire. I feel like if I stay here for those 30 days and follow the path that I assume you guys are going to be taking, unless you deviate from that, I should be able to catch up in maybe a couple of days after that.
Well, that certainly is a little unexpected. I was definitely looking forward to having you on the trip, but I understand, and this magic does sound pretty potent as well. I certainly would like to learn something that useful. Okay. Well then, I guess we'll meet back up in Oakwell then.
Is it going to be about 30 days for the whole round trip?
Give or take a week or two. It might take about 48 more days, I think. I'd have to look at the itinerary, which I left in my actual bag. You might find us on the road. I don't know. I'll have to give you a copy or something when we get back. But I am happy to learn this now rather than in a few days, Luna.
Honestly, probably wasn't going to say anything until then, but you know, it's fine.
Oh, I know. I just thought I'd ask and give you the opportunity. It seemed like you were up to something. Yes. That is more or less all I really wanted. Unless there's something else.
If there's nothing else, you guys enjoy yourself. A good old-fashioned
brunch?
broken lunch. Brunch.
How's a
Brunch is pretty decent.
lunch?
It's mostly where you guys end up going. It's mostly rice and curry. They do have some of the stuff. It's like crushed up. You think it might be bean, but it's some sort of grain of sorts mixed with oils. Very savory. Very really good on their thick bread. Really tasty. Oh, everything kind of looks. You'd assume to taste homogenous, but there are these like sharp spices within that sort of give every bite its own sort of unique characteristic. Sort of like how this city is sort of homogenous with only little sparks of color inside.
Gotcha.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to do on this second day? Particular?
Yeah.
Oh.
I want to go around the Market District, the Noble District, and the Artisan District, saying that the Dragon Slayers are going to be making a trip to Skyreach, and that if they have anything that they want shipped there or trade, that they know that the Dragon Slayers are the ones that are going there, to kind of sway maybe any type of thought that the Golden Coffers might get this trade deal. Sway public opinion.
Yeah, give me a straight charisma check. Just to do some carousing. Trying to spread a word first, but mostly just trying to get in with the people and see what you can pick up from them. It seems like
I'm going to use my turtle.
Give us some context, please.
Well, as
He's a
I'm walking
charisma
around, I am holding the little turtle trinket, just kind of shining it around as I'm having these conversations, knowing that the story from the king here is that this turtle was in fact a king here in the land. So kind of shining that little bit of influence as I am having these conversations.
Nice. Yeah, it definitely seems like there is sort of a hand placed over many of these traders. Once it's mentioned that their wares could start moving again, they do mention that, yeah, it sounds like that this group, known as the Gilded Coffers from up north, have sort of come down recently, spread some of their influence off making offerings that they could move some of the supplies. They have plenty of men and plenty of skill that, something like the trek going up Skyreach, shouldn't be any problem for them. Although, again, they're skeptical. They're handing off their wares essentially to strangers who only have reputation to their name. As do you, Kulor. You are in a way, they're more familiar with you. Some people do recognize you by name, being the Sand Whisperer, and they're knowledgeable of your skill. But your recent title of Dragon Slayer is remarkable. It is one that is backed by the king himself, rather. But they themselves are still somewhat skeptical. You've been able to kill a dragon, but they want to make sure that the people we're handing off these things to are very capable. Something they could see with their own eyes, which some of them seem quite interested in, considering the fact that this group of Dragon Slayers are going to go take on one of the great trials. So, it seems like many of them are very interested, Fuller. They're very interested in possibly taking you guys up on your offer, finally getting things moving out of Roka, perhaps even just leading the way to have trade become a bit more normalized up the Skyreach. But they really want to see this reputation of yours with their own eyes.
And then I will tell them to come to the arena, and they will see it.
All right. Okay.
And then eventually I'll meet up with the posse. I'll probably go there first thing in the morning, after my evening, catch them before they leave for the day.
Nice. Okay. Unless there's anything else you guys want to do on the second day, it seems like you're going to be grouping up finally at a place that, eventually word would reach you, Coolor, I guess from Persephone or someone in the group, that they found that certain place called the Silken Seabed, a place that you are quite familiar with, and that apparently some high rollers like to do some gambling there, and it seems like your party is quite eager to take part in this.
Good. I'll let them know that I know the proprietor, and I'll ask them not to embarrass me.
Oh.
No promises.
I'm gonna try to catch Persephone in the morning that second.
Okay.
Persephone,
Tamarkan!
have you seen Samantha? I was meaning to talk to her last night, but it seemed like she jumped into the future.
No, I don't think. I think she headed out early today. Or maybe she was out all night. It's hard to tell. She doesn't really sleep.
Let me ask you then. Are you into a bit of fun?
Yes.
What
What are we
therefore?
doing?
I have a something I'd like to do, and I need a bit of help from a very powerful item in the possession of my brother, one of the relics. He is very doubtful to learn to hand it over, so I was thinking I could borrow it for a bit, without his knowing, hopefully. I'm talking to Swift Hollow, and I'm putting things together a little bit at a time, but I have a problem. I can see magic. My brother is very talented in it, but I cannot exactly do anything about it. I could see if there is something protecting him, but if there is, that is where I stop.
You need a way to dispel it.
Yes. I know Samantha is able to do that. She broke across past that rock thing. Are you able to do such a...
Yeah, I can do that. That's how we stopped the spread of SinCon from Stroma.
Really?
Mhm.
This is the plan so far. I'm sort of working him a bit, yes? Trying to get him to the point where he really just wants to take a nap. With a bit of help, I'm hoping to make him have a very restful sleep on the last day we are going to be here. At that point, we need to sneak over and see if I can relieve him of the crown for just half an hour or so that I can attune to it and see if it will help me in what I need, so I can return it to him. Could you meet me there at that time to make sure that there are no magics protecting him, nothing that would alert him to my presence, even if he were asleep or not?
Yeah, sure. Do you need anyone else? Do you need a scout? Spirit can fly around. I point to a little butterfly on my head. Spirit could fly around and see if there's anything else.
That would be wonderful. TikTok, or maybe one of the others, they seem to check on him every once in a while. If they could make sure that none of them are coming, that'd be more than useful.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Wonderful. There is a problem, though. It is going to be on the day on which our fighting is occurring. We may be very tired afterwards. I will not need much magic, but if you are spent, exhausting yourself.
I actually, as Persephone is going to just like unfasten the purple stone and just let it rotate around her head and just point up to it.
I can take some time tonight to put that magic in this stone here. This is gonna be a lot of fun. So even if we're tired, the spell would be there.
Wonderful. I just did not want to put you into danger, asking that you reserve some magic for. I don't need to do this. I just, play a prank on my brother while I'm still around.
Yeah! No, I understand completely. I used to do the same thing with my brother all the time.
Wonderful.
Not like specifically the way you're doing it, but take his stuff for a little bit and then try to return him without him noticing.
Perfect. Then I will be upon my way. I need to get back to making sure my brother is prepared for all this himself. I'll see you later tonight, yes, with the gambling and.
Yeah, I'll see you tonight.
Whatever.
Okay.
God, I'd also tell him about my plans for the caravan and getting a bunch of money to ship this stuff into Skyreach.
Sure. Yeah. Spread throughout the group, learn some information. Kuldor is setting up work for you guys, and it seems a lot of it is about basically taking supplies, both from this town and maybe even from Darunga once you get there, and trying to move it up the treacherous reach of Skyreach. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else.
With
all that
poison.
Okay, sure. You go back to the Shadow Shire
If you're willing to hand wave that.
Sure. What are you exactly looking for?
Oh, darn, I forgot the name of it. Quick,
Poison that'll instantly kill him.
Quiltrin?
Uh-huh.
What was it called?
Just talking about it.
I think it's
it's like
called
ether.
Nigh-Quill.
Essence of ether.
Quill.
That's what she's
Z
looking
Quill.
for. She's looking for essence of ether.
Okay. One second. Pull up my diggity document. Nice. Yeah. They would you find some in this place pretty well made actually. Sort of now that you made yourself familiar with the Shadow Shire, able to find and locate some of the more underhanded individuals who reside here. Able to locate at least one particular person who looks like a small jar filled with looks to be nothing until it's shaken, and you can see like this sort of amber-colored fog beginning to roll inside, almost as if invisible before it settles again and vanishes. It seems like what you're looking for with your very patient eye. The guy would be willing to sell it to you for about 400 gold.
Yeah, that's about what I expected.
Okay.
Do we have time? No, I'll just hand wave. Yeah, she'll buy it for 400 gold.
Okay.
We're gonna fight. It's already 9.
Easily enough. You guys gather yourselves some
Fancy.
supplies. Ah, getting hungry, huh?
Nancy boys.
Not antsy. I mean, I'm not particularly antsy. I would be like, yeah, 400 gold's the market price. I don't want to haggle you down from that. What the fuck?
All right. As spending a great deal of coin for some very potent toxins after that, with all said and done, the valiant vanguard finally find themselves entering in, led by their friend Quildor, to a place he's quite familiar with, a very beautiful golden walled, it looks at first to be some sort of spa, the way the doors open up and steam and smoke just seem to spill out from inside. Quite humid inside, but once you get past the first hallway, the doors open up and lead to the sudden calm and cooling. It looks to be a long stretched pool in front of you guys, where you can see multiple fountains spilling forth this ever-flowing spring water. And inside, you can see calming and cooling themselves seem to be a variety of women wearing like very thin, flowing, feathery white gowns that cling to their bodies. And through some of them, you can notice some slight variations. Some look human with dark skin, others sharp points to their ears, definitive of their elven heritage. Some even having small emerald and blue and red scales lining their elbows and the crests of their cheeks, giving away some of their Yuan-Ti heritage.
The most important question
Mm-hmm.
of this entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Bran?
Where is Bran?
Did he come with?
You've been training him in the morning?
I trained him in the morning.
You want Bran here? Bran can be here.
If you want.
Yes!
Bam! Here,
We were
Bran.
trying to get cards. Also, I didn't realize we were getting that immediate.
Okay.
Sorry guys,
Hello
but
there.
as before we headed, just before Swift Hollow headed to the bathhouse, gamble, brothel, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, also, with her infinite foresight and extremely paranoid of what could go wrong, she believes in her skill, but an ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. She will sort of have a throwaway disguise, sort of painting her face a nice golden bronze, and sort of using her disguise kit to shore up and hide her high elven features as she puts on a disguise using her disguise kit. And using, with the help of her incognito clothes, able to disguise herself, not as Swift Hollow, but perhaps as someone else. Maybe a merchant that just flew in. Someone well-traveled and well-versed. From the sands of the desert.
Did we know that you
Swift
did
Hollow
this?
gets caught, she doesn't want to be known as Swift Hollow.
Good
Jesus,
call.
and the personas are not too well put together. If the cardboard and strings are there, but it's really more of a throwaway. She just needs it for the night. She doesn't want anyone knowing her more permanent, as you would say, disguises.
Give me a
quick and easy.
disguise kit check with charisma. Actually, with int, as you are using your knowledge of this place to help ingratiate yourself with the people.
Alright, come on,
what are
roll,
we-
be nice to me. 18!
Hey, yeah, pretty convincing. If you guys didn't know it was Swift Hollow with sort of similar facial features, you probably would have thought she just blended right in with the people here.
So
Also,
who are you
there's a
tonight, then?
there's a ring on her pinky finger.
Oh,
Our message ring. Just kidding. Yeah,
Nice.
not that ring. Not the signet ring. Don't want to be that. We're trying to be inconspicuous.
okay. And where is Tamar Khan during all this, as you're all heading off in towards this large establishment?
You hear a gruff voice behind you. Please hold the door. And then also have a disguise on.
Yeah, Swift Hollow takes a look, and you see her expression animate as she points at you.
What do you look like,
There's
Tamar
two of
Khan?
us.
What
I've
do you
got
look like?
I got a big old floppy ass hat on, a big fake beard that's just golden in color, as I'm sort of hunched over, as I look like a relatively older man, although it's not quite graying yet, but I am quite badly hunched over to the point where it almost looks like I have a hunchback, as see how bad it is as when I was doing my makeup. Pray for the guidance of Ressus.
God damn it. Roll me a disguise kit check. Let's go with wisdom, as you're just trying to, just in the best of ability, make yourself look as old as possible, sort of using your own understanding and connection with your brother, who you've been maybe stealing some fur from, or some tufts of something to make a big beard for yourself if you need it. Oh, Jesus.
Hey, let's see.
What is that? Added
Hey,
yeah, considerably well. Again, at first glance, you just seemed like a hunchback, withered old hairy beggar. But that voice, after some time, maybe just after seeing, or maybe just like a slight like shift beneath your cloak, giving way for maybe a peek at your tail. Yeah, that's for some of you, especially discerning Persephone. That's Tamar Khan.
behind you guys. A little bit of a lip. Excuse me.
As they both walk in with disguises, I'm gonna like stand in the front before we get in, and I'm gonna give the what's his last name? I'm gonna give the Tommy Shelby talk from Peaky Blinders. If you've ever seen it in the wedding scene, like the whole no fucking fighting, you especially no fucking fighting. The whole time, like, now I am cherished here. The woman that I love is in here. No fighting, no fucking cheating, or don't get caught. If you get caught, you don't know me. No fighting. Persephone, do whatever the fuck you want because you're a good person. Bran, ask Luna, but this is a brothel. We will have fun, but no fucking fighting and don't get caught.
Yes, sir. Talk to me like that.
This is your friend. Very wide information.
Oh
I'm just licking the front teeth that look yellow at first, but with a discerning eye, you can see they're painted yellow, and I've got beeswax shoved up into the top of my lip as I huddle my way inside.
As you walk past Swift Hollow, you feel her hand like press against yours. As you feel, I guess, 6 cards? As she tries to palm them to you. They change faces. She just mutters in your ear. It should help you out.
Cards shove up my sleeve.
As you,
Swift Hollow also shoves a couple of these cards up her sleeve as well.
As you walk inside, you're immediately be greeted by one of these, now calming down, but once you see customers approaching, dancers who basically approach you and invite you inside. They give you sort of a quick, like, hand wave tour to next to them for those who pay good coin can find themselves washed away of the deserts of tiring winds with some warm and relaxing water in their bathhouse. Beyond that, there is the common area where you'll find a variety of company. Those from across the land of, basically, let's say Mobia, but truly Hearth. And mostly just a lot of common folk who get some good coin, or perhaps those of a higher pedigree. That those in the furthest back of the room, a very private room, are participating in some high-stakes gambling. And of course, food and drinks will be provided by those who are all around you. The dancers are also the servers here. As they're walking by, see a variety of different dancers. Human, half-elf, and Yuan-Ti.
You are on nice. Where's your food at?
As we're walking through, is Bran staring down any of them?
Bran is just lost right now. He's there's a single path in front of him. There's big, glorious golden fountains in the middle of this place, but he's cautiously just like stepping around. Ma'am, excuse me. He's like trying to keep his eyes straight, but his eyes are just there is no hiding. His eyes just wandering up and down and trying to go through.
Child, they won't bite you.
Yeah, they won't bite. They won't. What do they do then? Let's keep going.
It's the party.
As you guys enter this large room filled with no chairs. No chair to be found here. Instead, low sitting tables, just like maybe about half a foot, maybe just up to a foot off the ground. All around, these thick, lush pillows covered in silk seem to be lining the place where everyone seems to be sitting cross-legged or simply like lounging across the ground. Walk inside, immediately you smell rich, sweet, and pretty bitter tobacco just filling the air as those who aren't consuming drinks, or some of them as you see falling asleep on their plates, seem to be pulling a great drag from these long, winding tubes attached to instruments that bubble oil with liquid, and it looks to be plant life inside. As yeah, Quildar, you find Nuzo, who's been sitting very patiently on one of the tables, just sort of letting this small container of incense fill the air, and she turns towards you and smiles and motions you over.
I'll walk over.
Persephone's gonna go
I'm
to
assuming Persephone's walking.
activate her ring. Is that her? Is that her? Is that her? Quildar, is that her? Is that her?
That is.
Quildar, welcome back. And oh, who might this be?
This is my friend Persephone. I must warn you, sometimes she talks very quickly. But she is a very clever and wise individual.
I can see much warmth in your eyes, Persephone. As she very gently snakes a hand towards you, just to take yours gently and give it a quick shake. It feels oddly lukewarm, which maybe you felt maybe once or twice touching Samantha. A lot of Yanti, their bodies are sort of languid to the temperature of their surroundings. But she does give you a very gentle smile. And yeah, she looks very stunning. Bright white skin with only almost indiscernible patches of scales across her body, long flowing hair, wearing the same sort of outfit a lot of these dancers seem to be bestowed in. Except, yeah, sort of like winding behind her head, almost curled up like a bun until you eventually see it like shimmer and shake, and a tiny little face peek out from behind, seems to be a single serpent.
I wiggle my finger at the serpent.
She is very young, Quildor. Are you
She
certain
is,
of...
But she
Right.
is wise. One of the most wise individuals I've ever seen in my some 400 years.
I shall take your word for it. It's a pleasure to meet you, Persephone.
It's a pleasure to meet you. What did you say your name was? What was her name? Quildar, you didn't even tell me your name.
I am Nuzo Hintha, though some have called me the White Serpent. Those in the trade, at least.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Nuzo Hinta.
Have you been served yet? Have you been treated? Plenty of dancers here who can give you company if that is what you wish for, young Persephone.
Actually, I came here to play cards.
Oh, well, there are plenty of gamblers here, those willing to toss coin and dice for a chance at some winnings, although if you are what I assume to be as high a stake risker as my elf here, I assume you might be looking for something more challenging. The door to the east might be what you're looking for, though I will warn you, they are quite seasoned gamblers, and the coins they pay are much higher than what you will find in any other establishment. Seas of gold move through this place.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
And so what are the rest of y'all up to?
I'll just
hearing
go
the
quickly
target.
greet Vin. Just sort of coming up behind, putting a hand on his shoulder. It's a pleasure to see you again.
You can see these two people you can see it looks like Vin and Ramses, who has a woman on each arm, are engaging in this really heavy conversation that rattles the back of the room. And you can see them reaching like an apex until you gently touch them and immediately, whoa, hello there. You caught me by surprise.
What effect on people?
Quite interesting. Oh, tell me, perfect timing. Samantha, yes. So that settled debate with Ramses and I. We're trying to discern something. Okay. A monkey and a lizard, both equally sized, throwing themselves at each other's throats, aiming to kill. Who do you think would win in a fight? Ramses seems to say, it's the monkey! They have hands, they can make weapons, they can strike the beast down. Well, I'm telling him that the thing is born with weapons. It's got teeth and claws and can rip and tear.
I would, oddly enough, my friend, have to agree with Mr. Ramses. I have seen what, well, A monkey who's learned a trick or two can do against a big scaled lizard with teeth and claws and wings and flame even. Never bet on the lizard.
But I mean, that's such a different topic. She's right, you know. She's right. The power of thumbs, Vin. It's the greatest gift the gods have ever given us.
Right,
As he just sort of like just settles in. Ugh. I'll have you. As he just sticks his pipe in his mouth and just breathes in a big lungful of gas, and then smoke and steam just come out of his, almost seem to come out of his whole face.
Sort of lean a little bit closer, trying to just sort of not so much be like alluring, but just be the mysterious sort of caricature that Samantha is. Now, if you had asked me if it was a serpent, that'd be a whole other question entirely.
Nonsense! I tell you! Thumbs!
All it takes is one bite, Ramses. One, and you die too. But, thankfully you won't have to worry about being bitten. My friends have a soft spot for you. And she sort of just gives him a wink and then turns away from the table, heading over to Nuzo.
As Samantha's having her conversation, anything else you guys are really up to in the meantime? Or are you just sort of carousing and just enjoying yourselves?
No, as soon as Purse hears where it is to go, she's just gonna call out to her friends, to Samantha and Luna at least, and then head over there before turning to Quill. There's like, are you coming, Quill? Are you gonna stay over there? It's okay if you stay over there. I just want to know where you're going.
I'm fine here.
Okay.
Yeah, Swift Hollowant glides her way up to the door. Ah, you too, green-haired child.
Don't call me a child. I'm Persephone. What's your name?
Purse just like
Osme.
grins. What was that?
Osme Sunshadow.
Sun Shadow? It's a pleasure to meet you, Sun Shadow.
Yeah, she like twists one of her elven ears. I think it's from the tan skin, really. What of?
And
After you.
Purse is gonna open the door.
Okay. You guys are make your way inside. Democron, what are you up to?
I am making my rounds around the room, meeting people, being just a jolly guy, ordering food, and ordering a weird amount of food, and way too much of it, too much drink, and paying too much for it, and making a show of how much fucking money I have. As accidentally tripping over people and throwing them a couple gold coins and saying, I'm sorry, I'm sort of out of it. I've got all this money and I don't really know what to do with it. They told me to come in.
Oh, I mean, there's no rule for that. The moment you start spilling like just handfuls of coins across the ground, maybe like 25 to 50 gold coins, way more than you'd be spending just getting drinks and food. Everyone who would see you here, everyone who's not probably like Vin and Ramses, those just sort of participating in their own little events, would start smacking their tables. Oh, over here, old man, come on, have a seat here. We've got a game for you.
Oh, so kind of you. I was told that you could take a fortune and bring it here and make it into tenfold. Is that right?
Well, well, we mean yes, but only if you're wanting to gamble with the high-rolling nobles. But I mean, they'll just take your.
Rolling high is what I was supposed to do.
Oh, but they'll take all your money, sir. They're already rich. They already have it all.
They can certainly try. Where am I supposed to go? These damn people take their money.
As you see a number of hands start guiding you towards the eastern door, where you can see a couple members of your group have been sort of gathering up. Seems like they're starting to walk inside.
You're so kind. Yeah, for your troubles. As I throw them 2 gold. As I probably spent like 50 gold just making a show of myself.
Oh yeah, surprisingly enough, as you start catching the gold you throw, you can see a couple of dancers who are just swaying and moving to this music that seems to be playing through the entire thing. Every once in a while, like, put their foot over a gold coin and slide it beneath them. just sort of gathering some of their own winnings from it. As we come to Samantha, you can see Coolor sitting next to this. At first, you almost thought it was maybe like an elf of sorts, but then her eyes meet yours, these bright amber orbs, and the soft bun of her serpent has unfolded to look and sort of match its gaze with many of yours that seem to be hanging down from your head. Oh, I believe this is the one you spoke of, Quildor.
Indeed, this is Samantha Deus and the amazing Luna Dieter von Edensberg. Both of you, this is Nuzo, the leader of the Corsairs, and one of the most beautiful and intelligent women I have ever had the blessing to know.
You last told me I was the most.
He speaks quite highly of you. It is a pleasure to meet you.
As he does of you, as she very carefully extends a hand towards both you, Samantha, and Luna, visually taking it as a grasp, sort of looking over with a smile, with her eyes maybe just slightly bit narrow for a moment before releasing.
This is a marvelous establishment you have here. I am very impressed.
It took some time to set up. It was something not born of my own idea, and yet time has whittled away all of my allies. Save for one, as she sort of motions over towards Quildor. I found myself in possession of a great gem in this city, as well as in possession of quite capable tradesmen.
It is a good thing to have friends, and you are right. Time does erode at all pillars, it seems. Quildor has proven himself to be quite useful as a member of the Valiant Vanguard. Breaking character for a moment, Quildor, did you mention to me at all what you're working on, or is this something you're doing in secret? Okay.
Yep, I mentioned to everyone the caravans.
I understand he's been negotiating something at his own behest on behalf of the Valiant Vanguard and your own trade initiatives.
It certainly seems to have piqued his interest, and he boasts of not only his own, but your skills as well. Although, I must be certain, as a businesswoman, I must humor all contenders.
Consider all your options. I understand. It is your coin that must be won, so it is your choice to make. Though I understand you are considering the golden coffers.
Yes, they have made themselves a name here in these last few months, when the shakings have stirred the north. Coming to the rescue of places such as this and Urunga. Quite valiant, if I might say so, though. Those who trade in such things, those who, she looks over to you, Quildor, have apparently underhanded dealings. I can assume that valiance is but a facade.
It is so often the case. It is rare to find something genuine, something honest. But if I may provide just not a warning, but I guess a courtesy to someone as close to someone such as Quildor, to you, Nuzo. The Valiant Vanguard does what it needs to do, where it needs doing, and the golden coffers, well, they're a thorn in many sides, Nuzo. And I would be remiss to not advise you to, well, at best have a temporary arrangement with them. You never know how long they'll be around.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Ooh, you and Quildor. Yeah, as she seems to be watching you again, maybe the longer you're talking to her, you can see her eyes are
I hope
somewhat
a
narrowed,
56 is good enough.
looking up and down across you guys, and then eventually just sort of nodding. Understand. I understand. It is dangerous to allow one's hands to linger on to such a unpredictable beast without fearing or being bitten by it. But these hands are well experienced, and they know when to withdraw.
Good, good. I know you and I have little to fear from the bites of small snakes in the grass or sands, but we can be swallowed whole nonetheless by something we did not anticipate being as big a problem. But I hope that we can find a business arrangement, if not on this, perhaps something in the future.
I believe that would be amicable.
Sort of, as we've sort of been talking, just sort of been letting my hair sort of look around the entire room. Having 10 snakes is useful, but as it sort of seems to be drawing to a natural conclusion, more and more of my attention seems to be shifting just to her, as I sort of just take her appearance and demeanor in as best as I can. Not really trying to get a read on her, and not really trying to intimidate her, but just, I guess, trying to convey a degree of importance to her that I'm signifying. But I'll leave you two to it to discuss things on your own. I understand that there is a bit of gambling to be done here, and I have a name to make myself in more ways than one.
Certainly seems to be the case. As not particularly insightful, but one thing you would notice is as you're letting your hair sort of just fan out, your crown sort of extend, sort of just giving yourself like that sort of air of like importance and power. You do see her expression sort of just like harden a bit, just like her eyes narrowing, her smile becoming a bit more pursed, and then just sort of nodding you away.
It was wonderful meeting you. What's Bran doing?
Bran is just like, you see him at one point, well, I guess paying attention with your high pass perception, while Samantha was communing with this other Yuan-Ti, you see Bran like just trying to find a place to like sit or do something while the rest of the group is heading off towards this high stakes gambling room. He ends up like striking a conversation with one of these blue scaled dancers, and then by the time you turn around, once the conversation's over, you can see him sitting on a pillow, still talking to this person, but she's now like clearly dancing for him, and he's sort of like in this state where he looks like he's like having a conversation with her, like just having a decent like down to earth talk while she's like performing, and her body's just like inches away from him. He doesn't seem to be completely aware of what he has gotten himself into.
So nursing school, huh? That's pretty cool.
I'm gonna reach over to Nuzo and just clasp her hand, and I'm gonna go, "Do you see that half-orc lad over there?"
Oh, God.
I am seeing him right now, yes.
He's a bit of a pupil of mine. He's too stressed. You wouldn't know of any of your fine women here that could, well, entertain him, but in a sense of making it seem like it's him that sways them. After all, I believe it is his first time.
If there is anything that our people are good at Quildor, it's convincing others that some of their most lecherous ideas are their own, not our hands doing. As she'll like lift up her hand, and you see like, a couple of dancers come up from behind him, or come up behind her, other again scaled individuals, more Yuan-Ti, some couple half elves, as she will like sort of whisper some words to them and then sort of motion over, and you can see as she does so, a few dancers, multiple dancers begin to start approaching Bran.
Oh, poor
As
Bran.
again, he starts like talking to a couple of them, like saying hi, making introductions, and then after a little while, it begins to dawn on him what's happening. And after a bit, you just see like maybe some flashes of green orc skin amidst the silk and dancing women. as it seems like they're giving him their full attention.
It's gonna be swallowed whole.
Confused screaming.
Okay.
Poor child.
Makes that face that my cat makes.
He's gonna be a man.
Panic face.
As the rest of you finally begin to enter this room, you open this door, which was pretty not sealed, but it was shut well tight. And with a quick turn and push forward, you walk inside and immediately just walk into this veil of incredibly bitter, incredibly spicy, and kind of intoxicating scent as you walk into this room that smells bittersweet. And around this large, beautiful looking table, about maybe 10 feet, I think, in radius, yes. Seems to be a number of individuals sitting on these pillows, holding both decks of cards scattered. It looks like game pieces all across this thing. Lots of these like devices they've been using to breathe this tobacco from. And at the center of this table, in a large dish, what you'd expect to serve like maybe like a big old bountiful amount of fruit, is just a pile of gold, and it looks like platinum pieces and gems and jewels, and even some small like metallic trinkets. As it seems to be some sort of a gambling pool. As the door opens, Persephone, you step inside, and several eyes sort of stop to turn to face you. Well, look at that. It's been some time since we've had newcomers. You're not lost, are you, little girl?
Persephone sits down on one of the pillows.
I see. Well, you must know, this is where the real coin is made and lost. A place for those of nobility. Are you certain this is a wish to be? And you can hear this voice call from the southern side. It is fine, Hazem. Let the girl play. That should be interesting. As you look down south and you see an elven woman with incredibly dark skin, darker than anyone else in this room. In fact, it's almost pitch black, save for these like bright white eyes of hers with sort of amber color within them, almost red in appearance. And behind her, just sort of with his back to the wall, arms crossed, is this individual of similar appearance, long flowing white hair, but covered in this dark leather armor with a visible, long, curled short sword, basically kept at his side. So just keeping an eye on all of you silently as he walks in. To the north of you, the individual who greeted you is another half-elf that you may have stumbled across or met while you walked through the marketplace. An individual of dark skin, long, flowing, braided hair with very small points sticking up from the sides of his head, indicative of his half-elf nature. One woman you met during the actual council dinner was another full-blooded elf here who seems to reside over the elven market, a woman named Freyami. And one individual who also stays silent until the rest of you begin to enter. Very tall, about 6.5 feet in height, broad shoulders, thin waist, almost like a caricature of what might expect to be a beautiful and handsome man. Covered in dark stone-like skin that seems to be just very gently polished, like a polished stone shining, as if far too gleaming to be actual skin. And flowing hair going down from his shoulders. Both it and the front of his chest seem to be embedded and tied with what looks to be beautiful gemstones. As he just sort of looks at you guys walking in, sort of muttering to himself, just words sort of pursing over his lips silently as he looks over each and every one of you. As this individual greets you, well, there seems to have plenty of you. Come, find a seat,
Over here, Miss Yanti. Yes, with hollow gestures to Samantha. Wanting to have people that she knows or are quote-unquote in on it on both sides of her.
Well, would you look at that? By all my stars, I never thought I'd see... Oh, hello, Swift Hollow. What are you doing here? As he immediately pulls us down from the table.
Right?
How does he know it's
Stephanie,
Swift Hollow? She's
Samantha,
in disguise.
please not Swift Hollow.
Stephanie?
Please don't say that.
Oh,
I've been saving.
As he's
Please
looking
don't
up
say
at...
Swift Hollow.
Oh, that's right. Hold on one sec. Back up. As he sees
he's
this
disguised.
Yanti woman walking.
Ah,
So he looks
Oh, no,
up
see,
and
Magnus
sees...
Alright,
McDonald
guys,
actually
over.
not 20
it's over.
the
We got her up.
The
not
insight.
20 the insight check. So
As
as
sorry,
he's looking up,
sorry, Peter,
as he's
get out of
looking
the
up
room.
towards you, Samantha, seeing this sort of familiar face at first, wearing similar clothing, until seeing this sudden weird, I guess, change in face. What Yes, many familiar faces in here, but
I didn't expect to see you over here, Magnus.
I'm surprised they let trash in here.
that is quite rude, Esther. Oh, this one's got a bite to her.
Come, my friend.
Robe, young man. Come on, let us down. Squeeze my way in here.
It has been a
Off the
long
map.
time since you've seen me,
Oh
though I must
my
admit, I saw you yesterday actually making your way through the Noble District. You seemed to be in quite the hurry, so I did not bother you. But it is a pleasure to see you again. Have you heard the news?
I have heard rumors that there's been some talk of Valiant Vanguard. Have you, is it true?
That we slayed Obsidious the Pretender. Yes, the great red dragon resting above Cradle Keep.
Oh, so you are the dragon slayers we've been hearing about in this town. That would explain the boldness in your entry, young girl. I apologize for my assumption.
A few of us, yes. The other two beautiful women with us. These two are not part of the Valiant Vanguard, though. I don't know them. Gesturing towards Swift Hollow and the strange old man who's kind of gross looking.
Oh, well
That's my
then...
son, Shadow. I'm just the merchant that happened to fly in.
Oh, a merchant. Maybe you could speak with my, what is the word? Partner, Quildor. He's trying to arrange some sort of business dealings with merchants out of Roka or something. Maybe after the game. I don't know. Yeah.
Sounds wonderful. Because I did just get out of a wonderful trade deal. Swithhollow reaches into her bag and sets down with a hefty slam the black box. And opens it with the thousands of gold coins. I hope you're all willing to pick up what I put down.
Oh,
That is
would you look at
impressive. As Samantha seems to sort of be taken completely aback, but I'm gonna go with she's maybe just managed to see enough of the black box in Swift Hollow's possession to sort of look at it and look at the massive pile of gold inside of it, and then just sort of focus a lot of her snake's attention on Swift Hollow, trying to see past the disguise because your girl's insight is trash. So she don't know who you are until probably about this moment. Unless you literally told her and I missed that.
Sure! Just making sure everyone's in on it.
I see.
Yeah.
Everyone's in on my schemes.
So, okay, so are we fucking hoping to clean the table and then split the profit?
First
whatever.
doesn't know their intention. She just knows that Swift Hollow and Tamar Khan decided to not be themselves, and she's like, "Okay, this is fun."
Yeah,
What's
that's
your
basically
name?
the extent of it. We have decided to disguise ourselves for it. If you can put two and two together.
This individual next to you, Tamar Khan, turns his head to look up and down at this just disgusting form sitting next to him.
I
are
lit my
by
yellow
far.
tea, just like smear my grimy beard. Yeah! Gilligan Alcoven, nice to meet you. Oh! Sorry about that.
I am not going to play anymore. I am leaving. As this man just stands up, hands to his sides, like, "Oh, Mizaura, come on now. Just, the individuals have come to play. We've never had new players in quite some time. No, I do not play with trash." As he stops
Oh,
and
let
like looks
go
down.
spend those. I take out my little bag and just pour out 500 gold onto the table.
Coin just spilling across the surface of the table. He just stops and looks it over. "How on earth did you acquire all that money?"
Gold!
Disgusting. As he will just turn his hands and just walk out. "Oh, Mirza Ore."
As I
lost.
try to call out to him.
What do you call him?
You could sit next to me. I swear, much more pleasant company.
Are you offering to
Yes,
trade
Colin.
seats?
I'll let you sit in my seat until you win the coin off of that creature over there. That way, you have the coin, and I can sit back down. How about that?
Very well. When I require his coin, I will burn it.
Don't be so foolish. If you do not want it, I will take it.
As I freed up plenty of space around me.
As Sinville sits down in your space again, passing past you, Samantha, he kind of looks you up and down. You can see him hearing muttering something just very gently under his voice, but nothing really discernible. As he will sit himself down. No, just,
does he call me the S word? All right, we're killing him.
You don't know.
Yep, he called you Samantha. Hey, Omen, before they all play cards, I would go over and place 180 platinum pieces on us to win with Vin.
Oh, 180 platinum pieces?
Yep.
Okay, sure. Yep. Vin would gladly take it. 180 platinum pieces.
Because it's still 5-1, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if I win, I'd get what, 1,080 platinum pieces back?
Get 5 plus...
Odds are weird, man.
1,080 platinum pieces.
Alright.
That's a lot of
money
cash.
to be made. Yeah.
That's some big bucks. Persephone, would you like to trade seats? No offense, Irazor. It's just a bit, too comfortable for my taste.
First, we'll switch seats with you, Sun Shadow.
Strategically changing positions to make sure there are 2 people in on it on both sides.
As
Can't let a stranger see the sleight of hand. That's gonna get real weird. If you guys see it, it's not going to be that bad.
Okay.
Sort of position herself by the door and sort of let, not fan out like a big fan or anything, but sort of just let her snake sort of go at their full length to sort of just look around the table and sort of watch over the entire situation.
Okay. So you're just sitting back, or you're just walking towards your seat, or are you just watching?
Oh, I mean, if there isn't a place to sit.
Well, these basically people make room. There's a spot right next to Tamar Khan that's been made empty.
Pretty young thing.
Oh.
Can I get an insight check to try to figure out like what on earth I'm looking at?
At this big old pile of mess.
What?
Yeah, yes.
I like to picture basically what I look like.
Yeah, sure. Give me an insight check. Give me an insight check. Try to figure it out as this weird, stumbling, bumbling man has sort of just dragged himself into the situation. It's hard to say, honestly. You kind of just maybe a party just wants to remove him. It seems like although everyone else is sort of comfortable or tolerating him because of the coins that spill across the table, he doesn't seem very much your company.
No, thank you. I think I'll, if necessary, just bankroll my friend. You enjoy the game. You had this obvious look from Samantha of just wanting to be rid of you.
Oh, that is a shame,
Oh God! Someone prestidigitate him away.
Whisper into my ring.
All right.
It's did you hear Tamar Khan's voice out of nowhere?
Yeah, you also hear Swithallow's whispered voice. No way.
Well, I don't hear Swithallow's whispered voice. That's for sure. It's
I
too
didn't
soft.
hear Swithall.
Oh. Well, you know, she has to like whisper into the ring.
As seems like everyone here has finally been gathered. You can see this individual, long, dark braided hair, puts his hands on the table. All right, seems like we've got almost a full table and a witness, as it were. I believe we should get started. Where were we? That's right, setting up 3 dragons ante. Do you know the rules?
Hey, it's been a while. Could you spice me up a bit?
All right, old friend, but, well, financially endowed friend. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Hazem V. Roland, and I am a representative of the Market District. It is a long since held tradition in the city of Roka to play the game Three Dragons Ante. As the name implies, there is a great deck of cards with many different dragons upon their faces. Drawing a dragon of certain color, of creed, and name gives you a point. Each one is worth greater numbers than the others. You draw 3 cards. 1, you decide if you want to keep it, to place a bet upon it, to raise a bet set by another, or to fold the hand entirely and give your coins you've placed away. After all the bets have been even, we draw another. And the same thing happens. Set a bet, raise a bet, or fold your hand. Finally, after the 3rd card is pulled, we show our hands. And whoever has the highest, greatest value of dragons, well, they win. Quite simple. As mechanically, this game's going to work in a little way that I decided to throw together last minute because we want to play a game. Basically, every turn, you have a D10 to roll. You get your value, you don't share it with anyone, so you GM that roll. So GM roll 1d10, and then you have a choice. It goes around the table, you guys decide if you want to bet, which the flat amount they're going to be putting into the pot is 50 GP. If you want to raise it by any amount, basically a maximum amount you could put in at once is about 500 gold if you just want to throw a flat amount in there. Or you could fold. Folding means that all the bets you've already placed, including the initial 50 gold you put in, is gone. After that, you roll again, this time using a D8. Same deal, go around the circle, see if you want to raise or fold. And last time, you go with a D6. And you take your total after that and see who has the highest. Winner wins about 80% of the total value.
So it's troll bollocks. Well, why didn't you tell me so? I know troll bollocks.
Troll bollocks?
Troll
That'd be
bollocks.
exciting.
I'd never heard of such a thing, but I appreciate and celebrate all of these, cultures. As he's, like, seeing you, like, sort of lean up closer to the table, getting a better look and maybe smell of you.
Realizing how integrated this and procedural this will be, sort of move Magnus to the side.
He just goes, sorry. So gonna get used to.
Nothing to fear from me, Magnus. Well, besides a lighter coin purse, I suppose.
We'll see about that. As the only other rules of this game to know is that when you roll a dice or when you make a call, you can perform a specific action. You can decide if you want to try and read someone or read the room. Let's see what I have here. I had it all written down. There we are. So one thing you can do is try to read someone, get a feel on how they feel over their cards. Try to insight check them. Checking one person, just a typical check, like contested. The more people that you try to contest against, you will receive a -2 penalty. You essentially, it's harder to read the entire table and get a feel on how they feel about their hands than it is to focus down on a single person. There's also the same deal with if you're trying to guide the table, try to present yourself or intimidate or just simply deceive others around you of what you have, put on a false presentation of how you feel about your cards. That's going to be deception, persuasion, or intimidation check. Same thing, trying to intimidate or trying to persuade or control how someone acts with one of these checks. The more people you try to persuade or control, take a -2 penalty per person, additional person rather. The last thing you can do is something similar to a sleight of hand check, essentially trying to palm a card when you draw it. Make sure you draw more than one. Doing that requires a roll versus everyone's passive perceptions. If you succeed, you're allowed to re-roll one of your dice you get, allowing you to maybe get a better number if you roll a little too low.
So I'm gonna do a goofy thing.
What's that?
If I can avoid playing, all my goal is to be here, is distract and losing. That's all I'm doing. I'm just being distracting, ramping up the ante, and losing. I am incentivizing people to put money in the pot, thinking they can beat me, just so other people can.
Nice. The last thing I was going to say was these options I've given you are not the only options. If you have more creative ideas of how you want to play, throw them out, and we'll play with the mechanics.
Yeah, Tamarcon, you're setting me up. Alright, I'll knock him down for you. Me and you, buddy.
Basically, whatever it looks like Swift Hollow's got something, I want to ramp up that ante to put all the attention on me. If it doesn't look like anybody's got anything, I just won't bet.
Okay.
So Tala is a card counter and a cheat. We'll see how this goes.
Alrighty. As everyone begins to draw their cards, roll me a D10. Roll it to a GM roll. So, like, those who don't know how to do it, yeah, like that, but without the.
I think
Okay.
if you use the GM roller, you can literally you can click GM, it'll just
Yeah,
be
if you do the dice roller
Yeah.
over on the
and
Yeah.
bar.
And are we
Okay.
like, when we present it, do we like present our numbers or like what?
Basically, what happens is you get all your rolls, you total them up, whoever's the highest total wins. You're presenting your cards, and that's the total you get. So keep track of your numbers. Ooh, all right. Let's see.
I got a bollocks already. You guys are in trouble.
Alrighty. Do. Nice. All right. As you can see, all of them looking around, taking a good look at their hands. You can hear a couple, maybe like somewhere within the group of people, someone was like, as it looking over their cards. As, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll go with Samantha. You see, after sort of looking around each other, seeing this person who sits down at the table last, well, tradition has it, the one who was seated last at the table gets the first choice. Do you call the bet 50 gold? Do you raise? Or do you fold?
no call.
All right. Moving over to you, as you can see Magnus sitting next to you. I'll raise to 70 gold. Why not? And this other woman next to him. I fold. And she just turns her card down. I do not play such trivial hands. The person next to him. I shall call. Comes up to you, Persephone. Currently at 70 gold.
I'll call.
That should
70
be
gold.
put
Coming
in.
up to you, Sotala.
I'll raise 200 gold.
Whew. All right. Raise to gold. You can see some of the people on the table sort of like turning their head towards this individual, this newcomer who was played almost tripled the value. Comes to you, Luna. Currently at 200 gold.
I want to try and read. What's his first name? I'm over his name.
Oh,
Hazam
this guy,
and
Hazam?
Priya. I want to try and
Read both of
them.
Sure. Give me insight check. Give me insight check. You will have your check plus your bonus minus 2.
Do I DM or really?
What?
Do
Trying to
roll
beat
it?
them? You can if you want. You can if you want. Just trying to inside them, try to figure them out. You can do it secretly, you can do it openly. Okay, let's see. Okay. So you and you. Okay, nice. Yeah, just looking at these individuals, you're looking over Hazem, who seems to be maybe like he has a bit too much of a smile on his face. Just maybe for a half second, your sharp perception allows you to catch it for a moment. He seems pretty pleased with himself, and it seems like the woman next to him has a hard time hiding an initial flash of disdain looking at her card.
I'll look over at Swift Hollow and then say, sure, I'll raise it to 300.
As Hazem looks down, confident. 350. As Furiami looks at her hand, I fold.
Well, the bollocks in hand, I'd be crazy not to bet 400.
As her turns her head to Bailey, looks over at Tamarcon. 400 it is. As it comes back to you, Samantha.
A bit too rich for my blood, as I will fold.
All right. Card slides up on the table. Magnus. I'll match that. 400. You can see
There
his
we
hand
go.
immediately next to you, Samantha. Smack down to his side. You can hear a little jingle in his pants. 400, yes.
He initially what,
As-
70 or 50?
Initially bet 70. He raised. He was the first person to raise it.
Okay.
As you can see, Misa Ore look down.
Three.
Why does that one have so much money? I fold. As Persephone, seems like the current bet is at 400 GP.
My money not good enough for you, huh?
Wait, because you can scout.
Did we already
people
take
and stuff?
other cards, or
What's that?
did we already take new cards yet?
So basically, everyone has to settle on a bet. Everyone has to go around a circle and say, "We will take the bet," and then you get your next card.
Yeah, Purse will take the bet.
All right, 400 goes up to you, Swift Hollow. Seems like the bet is staying at a steady 400.
Call.
All right, 400 going back to you, Luna.
I'll call.
I'm
All
trying to
right.
figure out what
You can
people
see-
bet originally.
You can see Hazem put his hand down the table. Call it.
There we go. It's a spirit. I can't raise myself. Let's see what we got.
All right, as you take your card, next one. Everyone roll me a D8.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna laugh the whole time Tamarkan's trying to lose, but he wins.
Right.
It's like, I don't know, I rolled a 10, I rolled an 8, and then I rolled a
So there
6.
should
So.
be currently 4,900 gold in the pot.
Oh, yeah. Samantha, did you give me your D8 roll? Did you fold?
I folded it.
You folded, right? Gotcha. Making sure. All right. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So it comes back to Magnus, who's looking down at his card. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. Magnus begins to put his fingers together. You can see him deeply in thought, trying to keep his mouth covered as he looks down at his card.
How much? That wasn't divisible by 400.
I have 7 playing at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I'll keep it.
You said 2,800, right?
49. 80% goes to the house, but still total of 4,900 gold in the pot so far from everyone's thrown in.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, for the people that folded. Derp.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
He keeps saying, I will keep it 400. 400 is safe. 400 is good. 400 is solid. As comes to you, Persephone.
Yeah, I'll keep it where it is. I'm happy here.
Speak for yourself. 460. I raise.
460. Comes up to you, Luna.
Peter gotta make the math difficult.
You're welcome.
467!
342?
And
Yeah,
a
this
couple
is-
copper pieces.
This is my first game. I'm feeling pretty confident. 500.
Oh, all right.
That's where you turn fortunes into bigger fortunes.
Hmm. I'll match that. 500.
I'm in as well!
All right. As it comes back to Magnus. Let it back, but protect me. I'll call it. I'll match it.
And 41 for
Persephone.
Solo.
Yeah, Purse will match. She's just smiling. She's just like, yeah, sure, okay. She's just grinning the whole way through.
Nice. Swift Hollow, seems like the bet has been raised for you by 40 gold.
Yeah, Swift Hollow actually has her like 2 cards stacked on each other as she has like her left palm on it as she tilts up her cards again to get a glance at them. Alright, call.
All right.
As she returns her cards, stacking them and putting her palm back on top of them.
Alrighty, y'all. And as with that, final card is drawn. Everyone roll me a d6 and add up your totals. Let's see. Do.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, alright.
My troll box got 2 big feet, yo!
One sec. gotta do some extra little math here. What I do with you?
The only NPC that's still playing is Hazem right now, or is it Hazem and Freyami?
Hazem and Magnus is the one. He's going high. He's going balls deep.
Oh, Magnus.
Sorry,
Isn't
Magnus.
Magnus for nothing.
And you. Ooh, okay. 1 second.
So the house takes 80% of the pot.
No, you get 80%.
Oh, okay, I was about to say,
Right.
I don't think
No.
the scheme's gonna work for me.
Nope, you guys are fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Nice. Okay. As you can see, finally, with all the last cards drawn, you can see the ones who are still holding the cards take a deep breath and lay them all out.
As
What do you guys
Swifthollow
suppose?
lays the cards out, she, using one of the cards, one of the many-faced cards she has, tries to, I guess using her, what did you say, hidden blade, but using that sort of mechanic to sort of jut it up just a little bit, palming one of her cheated cards into her hand. Trying to change
Ooh,
that
give me-
value.
Nice. Give me a sleight of hand check.
As we're all laying them out, I
Okay.
slap the 2 down. My troll buttocks and 2 big feet as I slap 2 6s down, being loud and obnoxious.
Are you giving me advantage, buddy?
I'm trying to help you out by
Hey,
distracting the whole
are you-
fucking thing.
Yep,
I'm
trying
gonna
to get eyes
say-
off me. Thanks, man.
I'm gonna say, give me a deception check, Tamarkan, as you're trying to put on a little. I mean, say performance only, but you're trying to just distract them a little bit, do a little bit of misdirection.
No.
You would catch the eyes of the ones closest to you, but the remainder would still be focused on their cards. As
All right.
Sotelo, give me that check. These people are up here distracted.
Nice.
All right, let's see. Ooh, and
actually pretty
ooh.
high.
It seems like as he slaps these cards down, these individuals who maybe aren't as distracted just glance away just quick enough for your hand to slide up and pick that card in. I think probably only
This-
Persephone and Persephone and Luna would be the only ones you'd notice Sotalo slide something into her hand. As
How
what are you
does
guys
that
total?
work? Am I re-rolling a die, or do I get a fixed value out of this?
Well, you got a
card?
special card, so what are you
Yeah.
making that card look like? The highest value?
Yes. On my
Okay, which
8.
card?
On my
On your 8?
D8.
Okay. Okay, so what are your totals then, y'all?
15.
13.
14!
14.
9.
19.
What about you two?
19.
I was
What
so
was yours, Luna?
close.
I got 9.
9.
Oh.
As you see next to you, next to you, Luna, has him proudly splays his cards out before you. A total of 18 until he sees Luna's cards, basically, or Sotalo's cards splay out, and his eyes, like this proud smile, immediately just falls off his face, saying, just barely beaten, and he doesn't even get to reveal his cards from it. Magnus just throws his cards in the air, as they scatter down across the table, a total of 16. As
I'll leave you alone if you need one.
I was so close. As Swift Hollow, you earn 4,400 GP.
Hey!
500 here, there, right?
How much do I lose?
Basically everything you've bet. The total you've bet in total. Yeah.
500
So
gold.
basically whatever you put down, your bid was. So basically whatever your highest bid was that you settled on is how much you lose. It's out of pocket. So yeah.
For the record, because the hand is done, I rolled 2 1s. I rolled a 10 and a 1 and a 1.
Oh my god.
It was going pretty
Yeah.
well. I got that 8 and I was like, maybe my D6. No, I rolled a number 1. Okay, well I can't believe I'm pulling my trump out this early. That's
why you got that
unfortunate.
cheating
I got
deck,
5
yo.
other cards. That's why the good thing I have 5 other cheating cards.
Okay.
Fought down old age. Let's get this next one going. Y'all didn't tell me we were playing Red Troll Bollock.
So she won 4,400.
Get this time.
Mhm,
She got
certainly did.
4,400 gold.
Some of it's her friend's goal, obviously. But
Yeah, like if you guys split it, you each get like a little bit more than 500 gold, and you spent 400.
Pretty
or
good.
something.
well, some of you have basically put down like about 500. Yeah.
So we would
As-
essentially, when it's broken up, the party won 380, like the party that's at the table.
Oh yeah,
Whatever,
having a
380.
bunch of people who split their money at a gambling table, pretty profitable. Who would thought?
Yeah, it's a common frowned upon thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the con we're running. Fools, we have 4 people at the gambling table, and all of us are good at it.
Basically,
Alright.
if
Yeah,
all
five.
non-us fold, we're just losing. But as long as like 1 or 2 of them stay in, we're good. We'll make money off of it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Swithala
Seems like
just
they have some.
eked out that win. Ooh.
And as you
Barely.
do that, Sotelo,
Alright.
shifting the magic of your card, you can see it changes. And as you pull it back, it seems like it stays fixed in that form. Seems like it's gonna take some time for those cards to reset.
Alright, well,
As
does that
you
mean I
have
still have a
played-
permanent 8?
It means that the card that you transformed to this one has now stayed as an 8, and it will basically take time for it to change again. You've used your special cheaty cards already.
Okay, good thing I have 5 more
Alright.
of these in my wrist.
As
I
you
can only
guys
fit
will.
so many, so 6 seemed like a thin enough stack to fit into sleeves.
Oh yeah. All
No,
right.
I bring the entire
as-
52.
We can handle this a couple ways if you want, guys. We can play a couple more rounds, or we can do some heavy die rolling and see how it turns out. It's up to you guys.
I vote for heavy die roll.
I want to
Sure.
go open up Tabletop Simulator and play Texas Hold'em right now, live.
Oh, that was kind of fun. That was pretty woo.
I'm totally down to sort of play dealer if you want to keep playing, so that way it's less mental load on you.
No, it's not mental. It's mostly just moving forward because we got Cooldor waiting outside, not
Oh,
really
yeah.
in this. So I want to make sure everyone's
Cooldor.
playing.
Yeah.
Who?
Golden
Hey, I'm
gamble
getting
with that.
brand laid, so
Certainly are. Sure, we can do
Getting
some.
Bran mobbed.
do they
let's do
take
some
Bran
hand.
to a room, or does Bran take one of them to a room? I hope Bran takes one
There's
of them.
Brand
they are.
Does
they
Brand
are-
even want this?
Oh, he
Brand's
doesn't
kind
have
of,
a
it's hard to see. It seems like he's sort of lost in this moment right now. He is basically consumed by dancers, and after a bit, there is some time Yuzo would offer, like, yeah, do you want me to give him a room? There was plenty of space in the upstairs for private affairs.
Oh yeah, I'd tell her to.
Does
I
Alright.
would tell her though. I would tell her though. Just send one girl. Don't overwhelm the young lad.
All right. After some time enjoying themselves, she'll like motion over for one of the dancers to come close. She'll speak to them, and then she'll go back to the group. And slowly but surely, the dancers who are just giving him all the attention he wants, or maybe doesn't want or need, eventually start to disperse. You can see once the crowd is finally fanned out, you can see his collar of his shirt has basically been pulled down to his waist. His hair's a mess. He's just like this big smiling fool. And one hand eventually grasps onto his and yeah, leads him upstairs, taking him elsewhere where you do not see.
Take on,
How you doing, John? You enjoying yourself?
Hey, I'm watching this. This is interesting. I just hope they
Okay,
win some
okay.
money.
All
Hey,
right,
I'm
we
all
can do
about,
the right
I'm all
thing.
about when I kill the thing and get
I get you.
1,080
yeah,
platinum pieces.
He's hedging his bets for the arena fight, which I'm totally gonna do too.
Okay.
We take all of our winnings from tonight and bet on ourselves for the arena.
Oh, duh.
I'm gonna speed things a little along a bit. So we're gonna do one more determining round, which will determine how the scope of this ends up. You guys end up, gambling a bit more, maybe playing a few more rounds, going up and down. Tamarcon probably still throwing down his loud, distracting self. Got money to throw away, if only to make people bet more money. Doing a pretty good job of it. As we're gonna come to a further round, coin has been made and lost. Everyone, roll me a d20.
Hidden or nah?
Just regular d20.
Out in the open, everyone.
Out in the open.
Ooh, Swift Hollow struggling today.
Alright, where do I activate?
I would.
Oh,
Me
Samantha,
too.
no!
Alright,
That's alright.
how do we reroll? What is the cheating way to reroll? How do I beat
You're
this?
using all your
Really
cards.
good at losing.
Let's see, just
Okay,
through
fine,
sheer
Conde.
luck.
Every
I
now
would
and
add
again
your anyone who has card proficiency. Let's add your proficiency to your roll.
Hey, that's a +5 for me.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
+5. All
What if
right.
I-
Plus
Oh, no,
five.
plus,
Or-
+4. I don't know where I got 5
Oh,
from.
19. 19, that's still really
Okay.
good.
So through some highs and through some lows, each of you have come across maybe a handful of gold through this. Maybe just through some loose betting. Let's see. I think each of you would earn Samantha and Swift Hollow earning 40 and 10 gold out of pocket. Persephone earning 190. Luna earning 140. Tamarcon earning 160. Actually, put an extra 0 on that. 400, 1900, 1400, 1600, 100. Because you guys are playing high roller tables.
How much did I get?
I earned 1400.
You have 1900. Basically, whatever you have times 100 is what you got in gold.
Ah.
Oh, so I get 100.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you guys are at the high roller table, doing pretty good. Just sheer luck going through this place.
Can I up
It's
that
okay.
with
We reverse card counted to my card. Now I'm the one getting you to win.
Can I add my my magic card and sleight of hand stuff? Does that count for card proficiency? I do have other game proficiency. I got cups. Real good
Sure,
cups.
you know what?
Even
You know what? Just how about whatever you would use to play this game to the best of your ability? What skills you would use? The bonus you get to that, you add it to your roll. So if you're using your
14.
Yeah, there you go. Get some good money out of this.
17.
Take my 16
Extra
to a
powerful.
29.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I have 17
Clean
now.
health. All that.
So would it, because I'm proficient in cards, would that be like, if first was using her insight, would that be my whiz plus my proficiency?
Basically, either way, it'd either be your wisdom plus proficiency or it'd be your insight check, which is also your wisdom plus proficiency.
Yeah, plus.
My insight check is plus 13!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
some
so I'll
good
use my
money.
insight. Yeah, I'll
Sure.
add 13 to that.
Hyperventilating.
As you guys are making and cleaning house, it seems like some of the others have made a bit of money out of this, but they are growing highly concerned that these new guests have suddenly taken over the pot. And with coin running low, you can see each of them starts going through their wares, and instead of throwing coin in, they want to play one more round. One more all in the pot. No gold to be spent. They're going the highest rollers. You can see Freyami pull out a small pouch and lay it in the middle of the table. You see it unfurls, and inside is a collection of what looks to be weird trinkets. One of them is this, where are you at? There you are. One of them is this beautiful golden, looks like folding fan that seems to have a slight shimmer of elven writing along it, as well as 3, like, teardrop-shaped stones inside. She assures you that these are incredibly valuable and they have magical potential inside them. Let's see. Hazem doesn't have much to offer. Instead, he has this folded up scroll, which from some of you can see, maybe Tamarcon catching your eye especially, there's very geographical descriptions on here, little like tracings and illustrations. He says it's a map he's found of the long and stretched white sea. It's how many treasure hunters make their living here, how lots of merchants make their coin. They go venture out into the great sands and find ruins of old fallen kingdoms, and inside, they can pilfer their treasures. And this is a map supposedly to one of them, although it's not quite complete. Seems like if someone were to put their hand upon it and do some work and do some scouting, might be able to fill out the map and find themselves a place that can lead to some treasure. This dark-skinned elf Chasma doesn't really say much. Instead, she pulls out the only thing she has to offer, something she has no real value of. It's a interesting-looking object that she withdraws from a bag carried now apparently by what looks to be either a suitor or maybe just a bodyguard of hers. And from within, she pulls out this fist-sized orb. It looks to be made of gold and gleaming metal and covered in what looks to be these intricate lines and small pivots and circles, things that might shift and move. It was given to her by a stranger some time ago, and she has no use for it. But it does look valuable, and so perhaps it will look good on someone's adornment. Magnus himself doesn't have anything to offer, and so he will just sort of sit back to watch. And this last individual, Mirza Ore, has nothing but the gemstones on his body, but he does have one thing to offer you. And now, at this point, having seen how much money has been raked around and moved by you, Tamarcon, he extends his offer to everyone. He has no coin to give, but if you were to win this bet, gather these treasures, He lets you know that he is an artist of great eye and design. He sees all the flaws, all the perfections and everything that he stands before him. And there is no better statue carver in the world of Mobia than him. If someone were to win this part, perhaps they'd make a statue of them. Of granite or serpentine or something like.
I always thought this handsome mug of mine deserved a statue.
I just
No, I can
drag
see
him out of
the I can
room.
see the draw of gambling addiction.
All right, then. How about me?
What a
I
rush.
reach through my beard into my cloak. This is, ladies and gentlemen, genuine unicorn horn. As I slam it down on the.
You just have that?
Yes, I do, young lady.
That's indeed, it looks like a unicorn horn.
Swift Hollow reaches into her bag, and I bet these as she sort of pushes over a twin set of daggers which look very ornate, reminiscent of birds roosting on the handles, with the feather motif on the blades.
Are you betting the actual ones?
Oh yeah, baby.
As you can see, Magnus' eyes sort of
Oh.
I'm
squint
winning
at these items
back.
being placed on the table.
One of you guys are winning these back or someone dies tonight.
All right.
Getting those back anyways.
No fighting!
I didn't
All right.
realize it was
As
so
Swift Hollow
serious.
Oh.
Pulls out a journal and
Remember,
with a pen.
Scatter!
She starts scribbling into the journal, writing down, tallying her winnings with a pen that Samantha, Persephone, and Luna would recognize from the Turtle King guy. Her trinket. And she sets it down on her journal. Just for good luck, of course.
Well, I see. I would be remiss to shy away from such an opportunity. I have not a lot that I'm willing to part with, but for this, as Samantha will let me see. Yeah.
I'm looking. It's like person collect magic items. Oh no.
Excellent.
My soul.
She's gonna reach in and bet one of her most precious magic items, the bottle of Rum Runner's Choice.
Ooh. Oh, snap.
And she just pours herself one last drink from it.
One last time. So the rest of you, any else putting their bets on, or you calling it?
Fine. As Luna will put her hand on the table, and seemingly there's nothing on there, but then with a flick of her wrist, just a pocket watch seems to appear. She puts that on the table.
Oh, quite a fancy trinket.
Okay, well, I can just pass this on to the winner, but it will take some time.
As Purse is just going to unfasten her holster and her stone of reserve is just going to start rotating.
This is my bet. Holds a lot of magical
Is that-
potential, and it's helped us a lot over the adventures.
Is that a stone of an iron stone? I have not seen one since I was a girl. Oh, I must win this one.
We shall see.
Which
All right.
NPC's gonna die?
Yeah. Which NPC wins my daggers and then I get to spill their blood to get them back?
All right.
The next adventure is to steal them back.
Obviously.
Okay.
See, this is the addiction of gambling. Wow, what a rush! What a high!
And here is how the final round shall work. Because the bets have been placed, there is no raising other than folding. One must simply roll their D100, their D10, D8, and D6, doing what they can to try and basically play with the fate of the gods.
So every time, if I can do this in between picking up cards, I would insight check 2 at a time. So after the first pickup, check them. After the second one, check those 2. Or at the same time. I don't know which one you could do. I mean, you could just kill Magnus. Hey, wait, no, Magnus isn't playing.
And Magnus is just watching. Although he did step forward once he saw a couple daggers sit on that table. But yeah, there is one slight rule, is that you can...
Oh, okay, Magnus, you get to fucking die. So you have chosen death, have you?
Yeah, as you guys... Well, he's not playing, he just kind of peeked up to see it. But, yeah, so basically there is... Let's see, how did I have this written? One chance to... Certainly, there is one chance on your second card. You can fold and withdraw your item, but beyond that, not your first or your last. It's only on the second one.
Yes,
Giving you a slight chance to call back.
I'll try my best to sort of make it look like I've drawn nutty on the second card, trying to get, I guess, the NPCs to fold.
Okay.
Oh god, she's drawn a 10 and an 8.
No, don't get them to fold. Now we won't get their magic
I
item.
don't get to do anything then. I just roll the dice.
Oh, okay, well that's fair enough. Okay. No, you gotta lead them on. You gotta lead them on. You gotta be like, oh no. Ugh.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm gonna make him think.
been
that
honest
I've
this
drawn
whole game. Purse has just been like, yeah. Because like Purse has
You have
just
to be
been
like,
grinning,
oh,
like,
maybe on the third draw.
nah, Purse.
Yeah, so what are you guys
This whole
doing?
game has just been like grinning. It's like, oh yeah, I got a great card. I got a terrible card. I raise.
Just in this sort of like, is she
What
trying
is
to
she?
lie? I think so. Okay.
I will
So all of
say,
you.
well, because in the pure luck D100, because I did use sleight of hand, I will say probably throughout the hands, I probably used 2 more of my cheating cards. So I'll have 3 left.
Gotcha.
What did you give me?
I think he
I gave you
like,
6. I gave
Yeah?
you 6, and I have 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna say like I have 1 left. When I saw that I could win, I started winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I rolled a 4, so I'm just gonna assume like I was able to get some, but I wasn't big winning. I couldn't force it out. Too many eyes.
There you go.
Hearing Mira
Number
Zoray is like the best statue maker in the universe. I am definitely leaning on him to keep him into the third round. I want him to lose. I desperately want him to lose. That's
So yeah, and again, anyone in that sense, if you're focusing your deception on him, you just get that pure bonus. It's gonna be a check. So I'm gonna be everyone some checks done.
Yeah, who was the one that wanted my stone? That's who Purse.
It seems like Freyami really wanted it, the full-blooded elf.
Yeah, don't like that. I'm gonna focus on her when I insight check.
All right.
Roll the first one.
Ooh.
Okay.
Decently.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. So
Not too
insight check and
good.
Freyami. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Give me an insight check, Persephone. Ooh.
25.
Interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, you can see that when she immediately draws her card, your eyes glance up at her, trying to read her. Seems like she kind of smirks a little bit. Not entirely super confident, but seems like she holds her card firmly. And Samantha, you're trying to goad this guy to keep on trucking.
Yeah, I want him, if he draws a 1, I want him to think, it's fine, I can take this in the last 2. Look how bad her hand is, obviously.
All right, so give me a persuasion or a deception roll, whatever you're trying to do to actually convince him to keep on moving. If you're trying to make it seem like, oh, this card's got to get better soon, or if you're trying to make it seem like, oh, woe is me, my poor hand's so weak and small.
God, I hope one of us wins this, please.
I will deceive him, hopefully. Hey.
Ooh. Let's see. Let's see.
Jordan, just so you know that on the stream, the chat is blacked out.
Oh yeah, I know.
So they can't cheat.
No, look at I can't whisper just to Omen and
As-
have the stream catch it. So
You can see this man glance his eyes over at you, Samantha, gazing you up and down again, sort of mutters under something under his voice, which I guess Persephone, that is you're finally super close to this guy, can actually hear his words, super soft and quiet. Mismatched scales. And continues to hold on to his card.
What was that?
They're just mismatched scales. As next round.
Is
Anything you guys want to do? Was it Luna was trying to insight, guys?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
Luna
was trying to
insight
insight the
everyone.
top two.
Sure. Sure. Okay, give me that insight check. It'll be a -2 to the roll. Trying to read both of them. Oh. Okay, use her. Oh yeah. Immediately you could tell. Yeah, sort of thing that Persephone picked up. Frialme seems pretty confident. Seems like she's kind of a slight grin on her face that she's holding onto her card pretty firmly. Hazem, the moment he sees his card, sort of lowers it for a second and kind of closes his eyes for just an extra moment, and then opens them again, as if didn't really want to look at it for too long.
Troll box. Whisper, but loud enough that basically everybody can hear.
All right, and Tamarcon, you said you wanted to. Did you want to reroll? What do you want to do?
I just whisper, but loud enough to everybody hear. Damn, red troll box.
Okay.
Obviously not happy with the card.
Gotcha. Okay, so then next round, everyone roll your d8. As we are moving on to the next step.
Not bad. Oh shit, that was the wrong one. Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, so as I draw my card, Persephone, you can obviously see, like, as much as Samantha tries to hide it, you know, you pay a decent amount of attention to her various snakes, and you see Cody just sort of like his mouth just open up a little bit too wide in just a face of shock and panic, as her snakes just seem to look at the rest of the table, looking at the other members of the party, hoping somebody can win this.
As Swatala puts her hand to her face, sort of like in contemplation, as she whispers into her ring.
What does she whisper into her ring?
What do you whisper?
16.
Yeah, as everyone draws their card, I pick up my card and slap it down and pull up the 2 to see what it is. I slip the first one out under it, as I'm going to slide a hand to switch my first card.
All right,
As
give me that side of hand check.
And I'm going to use my DM Inspiration.
All right.
31.
You slap it down, and the next moment, as your hand comes back up, like everyone just sees the old man slap the cards again, and to none the wiser, even to some of the sharpest members of the group, don't seem to notice.
Basically, I pull up one card, I pick up the new one, I slap it down, and just shoot out the underbottom one, so I have 2 in my hand, but my original card is...
Alrighty.
Reroll
Yeah,
that.
Swatala, using her action to whisper into the ring, just calls out her values that she has now. That's the shirt everyone are here.
Thank God.
So you got 16 with just 2 cards?
Mm-hmm. I rolled a 10.
Without even needing to use a cheat card yet. Okay.
Yep, I'm not even cheating. I rolled a 10. 16.
You know,
Seems like it's your final round to back out if you want to back out.
I'm all in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. Red balls and no balls.
The birds of a feather are a prized item of mine, but there's no fun in that. I'm in.
seeing. Do any of the NPCs back out?
You can see them looking over their cards. Immediately after a few moments, you can see Hazem draw his second card, lower it as well, fold them together. The gods have not been with me today. Avandra, abandoning her people, puts the card down and sits back. Eyeful.
Why don't do
What is he,
that?
dead?
You know, there's still an entire round left. I don't think you should fall. I think you should, as before I finish my sentence, I'm going to get myself arrested. I'm going to subtle cast Dominate Person on him.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Alright. As that magic
loophole.
reaches out to clash into his mind. Let's see, he is an half-elf. Has some resistance to being charmed. Let's see. He steps back, blinks his eyes, and just as he opens them, thank God he blinked them, because you can see the rest remnant of shadow fill his eyes for a moment. You're right. This game is far from over. I can still win this.
There you go.
I fucking
Hey,
love
what?
that
The
woman.
the domino meme. The party goes gambling together is the tiny domino. The big domino is we make a full-blown crime syndicate.
Remember, everyone, we're the heroes.
Yep.
Hey,
As
you're
he
the one that
puts
came in
his
with that
cards back
conception.
on.
Oh, I love you, Luna.
Besides that, everyone else seems pretty still hang on to the cards.
Hey.
all right.
Pots
Without any of the NPCs folding, Samantha can't take the hit to her pride, even though her wisdom, the smidge of it she has, tells her to back out, save her bottle. She can't look bad, so she'll stay in.
All right, everyone, give me that final roll. That
Win or
D6.
lose. Red balls and no balls.
Oh fuck.
Ooh.
Interesting.
This is exactly
this is
like the first round.
Let's see. Mamma mia.
That's a
All right,
spicy
so if this is
meatball.
what people are talking about when they're like, we had a great session of D&D, we didn't even roll initiative. Like, if these are the sessions they're talking about, I understand it now.
All right. As you guys all draw your final cards, those with slipty palms, is there anything you're gonna try to do before the cards get
Apollo.
revealed?
Cheats.
I slash cheat.
I'm out of
Roll me a-
card.
No.
Roll me a sleight of hand, baby.
Oh boy, if you got that DM inspiration.
Ooh, let's see. Hold on a moment.
Actual-
Hold on a moment.
Oh, because your
Boy.
trinket's out there.
It is.
Ooh.
But I need to call it. I need to call the trinket now, but that's a 4. You know what? You know what? I'll call the luck of the trinket. And Swithhollow reaches down and touches the pen, and then as she delicately touches it, the pen sort of snaps, broken in half again.
You did
As
set the
she
pin
sort of
up.
recoils back slightly. Ah, come on! I go from a 4 to a 6, but 19.
As
Slightly better.
you are moving your hands, Swift Hollow, yes, you're ready to switch the card for a moment. You can see a slight shift at the end of the table. The dark-skinned elf, whose eyes seem to be peering around, just happened to be moving in a direction and watching what you're doing, until that pen snapped
Hey.
and her eyes diverted, and you're able to just barely switch the card out.
Oh.
As unfortunately for Swithhollow, her pen is broken again. Blasted.
All right.
As I swap out my, I don't mind calling it because we're about to call it. As I swap my 2, 4, 6.
All right. As
I
everyone
would've beat
call
you.
your totals.
22.
I got a 15. I rolled the
Ooh.
same exact fucking numbers I did the first time. I rolled a 6, a 7, and a 2, and then
Damn.
I rolled a 7, a 6, and a 2.
Swift Hull, if you didn't cheat at the end there, I was gonna beat you by 1.
Ooh.
Ooh,
All
21.
right. As all around you, let's see. You can see next to you, Tamar Khan, the elf, pretty proud of her cards, lays them out for a moment. A solid 15 for a total. You can see Hazem lay down his cards with almost that expression of just blankness, almost just like compelled to. A total of 7. Uh,
I'll
the-
reveal mine at the end.
The incredibly proud artiste lays his cards out very delicately one at a time, letting them fall and land before him. Mirza Ore revealing his 17. And Kazma, this time a bit more into the game, excited for what's going on, lays down her cards for a 16, although she just scowled the moment she sees her neighbor having a higher value than her.
I'm
Does it
sorry,
seem like-
boys and girls. I got the biggest balls of them all as I slap down the 2 and 2 big feet as I slap down 2, or a 6 and a 3.
As Swithhollow, or as Osin Sun Shadow chuckles. Read
As I
'em
start scooping up money.
and weep. And she reveals a 10, a 6, and a 6.
Hold up! Oh, damn it!
First grabs a hold of her stone to stop it from rotating around her head.
It seems this one has certainly cleaned house quite thoroughly tonight. Well
The
done. What
Vanguard
was...
is definitely going to need to work with you. You seem quite capable.
My daughter is gonna be pissed. Y'all know where I can find another unicorn real quick?
Unfortunately, I did hear exploits of your caravan trading from some, I suppose, elf. I don't quite remember his name. I heard it in the Artisan District. You're heading to Skyreach?
Yes.
Really? That's quite a treacherous journey. I know you're dragon slayers and all, but can you really make that trek up the mountain? Not even I have tried that.
I have some magic
And I'm
that
quite
probably
lucky.
assist us. And it wouldn't be our first mountain climb.
No, it wouldn't.
Really?
Really? You
Well, I
have
think with
magic.
Well,
That may make the
hard-earned
trip safer.
earnings. As Swift Hollow sort of draws in the items, and I think I will be investing in your valiant Vanguard. It
This
does
is
seem quite profitable as Swift Hollow looks around to everyone else, to the other NPC nobles, doesn't it?
It certainly seems like your capabilities have been proven tonight. We are usually the only ones who find ourselves with the coin and the audacity and bravery to gamble with them, and yet here you are, in tow with strangers at that who have plenty of coin in their pocket.
And Luna
Great.
realizing that her magic might be coming to an end and situation might get dire, she's just gonna look at her locket that she quote unquote lost, and she's going to stand up very haughtily and just storm out in a faux sense of anger and just come out here and say, Where's Bran?
Harumph.
Well, she is feisty. I like her, Miss
He's enjoying
Samantha.
himself, Luna.
Yes.
Ain't graceful win or lose, I guess. Eesh.
Yeah, Purse is gonna hold the gem out to Sun Shadow.
You're going to need to hold on to this. Like I said, it will take a while for it to stop floating around my head, but you can at least have it in your possession so I don't try to take it from you.
Certainly.
And
I will
do
keep in close cahoots with you, valiant Vanguard.
treat the rum runner's choice delicately. It has served me quite well.
I toss the unicorn horn across the table. Hey, if my daughter comes looking for that, could you tell her you stole it?
That would sully my reputation as a merchant, unfortunately.
Alright.
Oh,
I need to console
Swift Hollow
my-
quickly scoops her earnings into her giant ass, burglar ass. Fucking, there's a giant money sign on it. 4 feet, 2 foot wide hole, bag my ass.
Does that work with my stone? Does the stone just go, or does it just like vroom back to him?
As it's plucked away from you, it seems like that little force keeping it orbiting suddenly like pulls like a magnet a bit, and then immediately there's a disconnect. And once it's too far away from you, it no longer floats.
Well, anyways, I think we really should be hitting that old dusty trail. It's been a long night, and I think I should retire for the evening. And she holds her bag over like a fucking burglar. Toodaloo.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Sun Shadow, wait for one moment. Your skill tonight. It was wonderful. Come, please, visit me in my district. You will find me in the deep recesses of my own personal shop, the Al Maquette. I wish to leave behind, at least in this beautiful city, a symbol of your grace and glory, unless you wish to take it with you.
So you would erect a statue?
Of course. I have given my word that I would apply my artiste to something graceful and beautiful. And of all the creatures I've seen in here, with all their flaws and all their imperfections, your victory here tonight despite all the fate of the gods bending around them. You pulled it and made it your own. That is true beauty. That is true perfection. That is worthy of art.
I feel like a soft hiss from behind you, Swift Hollow.
Oh, be sure to visit. Look forward to the statue. Statuette. I would like to keep it with me. A token.
Very well. Bon voyage. As
Italy.
with all the things you've gathered, seems you got yourselves quite a hearty collection of items with you. You can see, first one, actually I don't know for that, that's fine. You find yourself a clearly beautiful golden fan that when you give it a shake, Swift Hollow, as it falls into the bag, almost blows too hard a gust and causes it to sort of like shoot almost out of your hand. Seems like this thing's quite powerful. Instead, you also find these small teardrop-shaped stones that you hold in your palm that almost have like a soft, not electrical, but energetic touch to them. You might need some investigating to figure out what exactly these do, but they are quite potent little items, clearly magical. You have now rolled up in a small scroll, looks to be a map that needs to be finished, possibly handed to someone who does some scouting around the area to find exactly where this potential lost ruin might be, as well as a golden orb that once you actually have it in your hand, it almost shifts in a very familiar way. When you were first figuring out the black box, it was this strange puzzle-like device that you had to discern a code from to open. In the same way, this orb seems to have shifting rings and buttons on it that when you twist and pull, some of them move, some of them don't. It seems like you might have to solve this thing like a puzzle if there's any way to actually solve it. And besides that, you also have all of your friends' special items gathered in a big bag with all of your winnings.
Noise says, Awesome Sun Shadow quickly absconds.
All right. Boo! Darting out of there.
Gotta say, it was a pleasure, y'all. Just every little bit of it. That's why I'm scooping it into my bag. Being a little bit slow as everybody else makes their exit.
Yes, what did you say your name was again? I apologize. I feel my mind is quite sore. This has been a quite troublesome night, as fun as it was.
Gallagher down, Coven. Pleasure to meet you.
Gallagher Coven. I do not recognize that dialect. Where are you from?
Up north of ways. Actually from Skyreach, if you wouldn't know. I make my way down the mountain. A couple months ago, really. Fell into a hole. Believe that. Found myself these shiny ass rocks, all kinds of things. Scooped them up, made my way down here, made myself a fortune selling these things. I was trying to make my way to my daughter. She's over in Daronga. Yep.
I see. Wow, I would not have expected it. Well, it seems that the gods have favored you, especially that of Avandra, goddess of fortune. You enjoy your coins, sir. Make sure you spend it here while you're in this great city of Roka.
Oh, of course. As I throw my bag up over my shoulder, as I have my arm like up in my face, as I walk over to this guy over here, Mr. Mazior.
Yes, what is it?
It's a pleasure meeting you. You know, things not always look at what they look like as I hold out my hand to him for.
It certainly appears that way. Though you are a disgusting creature, seems that fortune favors you. There is value to you. As he holds up his hand, and just like he's like trying to take a piece of like garbage, like very gingerly like takes the top of your hand and just kind of like shakes it.
As he gingerly takes the head, I turn it around ever so quickly as say, yep, because I know it's always as they seem, as you see a big old beard sitting in the palm of my hand as I pull down my arm, showing my face. It was wonderful playing with you all. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone, as I run for the door.
Wait a minute. What just
I
happened?
just leave my beard in his hand.
Oh my god!
It's so sticky.
Hello, everyone!
Removing
It's pleasure! It was wonderful meeting you all! You have a fabulous establishment here! Have a wonderful afternoon!
bound across the pool.
Yep.
So we had fun, Quill.
Sure.
What exactly transpired? Why is Mirza Ore screaming in there? He's usually quite quiet.
Something tells me that the house made a pretty good penny today.
I would assume so. Oh, good for business.
Indeed.
Yes. I will put, go to Vin, put 7,500 gold on the Valiant Vanguard winning.
My word, this is quite a hefty price. You must be really confident in yourself.
I sort of lower myself down to his eye level, bringing up all of my snakes close to my face, not sort of fanning them out. Always.
That confidence might get you hurt, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. As he goes back to Ramses, who seems to be, like, putting a hand on the table. These kids are making a big name for themselves, it looks like.
Horse hops over as soon as Samantha walks away.
Oh, hello!
I'm also going to put money on the Valiant Vanguard for the trial.
As I give him my winnings of 2,800 gold.
20 up. Wow. All right. I can barely have enough hands to carry all this.
Did they not give us a sack? I feel like we should have a sack for this.
Oh, you got sacks. It's just lots of sacks.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You better get more hands then, as I will play. I'll put 10,000.
Okay.
Just hand him the bag of holding.
Ramses, do you mind helping me carry all this gold? Oh, this is going to be quite interesting.
Getting to the point where you're going to start affecting the odds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
As yeah, people are witnessing this. Yeah, they'll take your 10,000 gold. Sits it down.
Coulter, I
Okay.
trust that you let Bran get home safely and not, with his head eaten.
He is in the most delicate, capable, and encouraging hands possible. Although you may have to endure several days of a big shit-eating grin.
I mean, I deal with everyone else in this group. It'll be fine.
Can we leave?
Come on, Samantha, let's go.
Can we leave? Oh, thank you. God. As Samantha
It was
just
a
seems to
pleasure
have an
meeting you,
air of
Lizzo.
frustration about her.
Likewise. It seems your
This
friend
person's
did
gonna
not have
skip
very
out
much
after
fun,
all.
Kuldo.
They are a unique group of individuals, but they always get the job done. Tell
Can I
me,
have a piggyback ride? Give me a piggyback ride.
is there a favor that you will give me to wear in the arena tomorrow?
A favor.
Something
Very
for
well.
people to know that we have what we have.
Very much so. As she would reach up to her neck and unclasp this very small golden chain. She has a pair of them wearing down to this. It looks like a hanging sunburst around her neck, but instead it's a small one, almost like a choker of sorts. She unfastens it and sort of lengthens it ever so slightly and hands it over to you. It's against your relatively light skin and bright silver armor. It's this bright golden chain around your neck, the same kind that this serpent is known for wearing.
As I will... I think my neck is too thick. The choker.
Thick neck.
Thick. I will... I will find someone that I can add it to the pommel of my sword.
Sure. Oh, easily enough. It's getting late in the night, but you just find someone probably the next morning having some time. Although the arena will be coming up soon, just having it affix it to your pommel will take no time.
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
spending the night.
Yes, indeed. As you're spending some time here with Nuzo even more, there is a point in which she sort of stands up from the table and gives you a little nod. I'll be with you shortly, Kuldor. There is some business I must attend to in private. As she will venture up close to these individuals here, and beyond that, you can see this curtain part, And among this group of individuals that you're able to recognize quite readily, individuals who are wearing, it looks like scraps of leather armor with patches of looks like steel, and even these large like bracers that seem way too thick to be worn simply as armor, are sort of enjoying themselves, eyeing and sort of tugging on the dresses of dancers. You can see this individual step out from within a curtain. Considerably tall, maybe about 7 feet in height, matching you in about physique. But really nothing to truly discern about his person other than he's wearing these really fine leather clothes, like a tunic of sorts that clings tightly to his body. His hands, his forearms are thick and large. And the only other thing you can really see from him that stands out is a bright gleam of silver. Not silver, gold. As an individual wearing a full-faced mask steps out from behind the curtain and sort of holds a hand out to her as they both venture past inside, seemingly to do some business.
Get into yard.
Uh-oh, that's weird. Hold on. Oh, God, that's weird.
I mean, that guy just screamed anime villain. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know anime, but I'm pretty sure it's anime villains.
Oh, God, once I got it.
Tag.
Come on. I just gotta refresh real quick so I can end this. Freaking Zoom check messed up. I can't actually zoom out or switch maps. What's going on?
Oh, no.
1 sec. There we go.
Well, funny cat it with you.
As we will spend some time switching over to later the next day, people taking care of the business they had set up in the morning, but eventually the time will come. The bells will ring in town, and you guys will be ushered towards the center of Roka, where the heart lies. Oh,
I get my stone
as
back
everyone's
into the
returning, as everyone's recoalescing back to the palace with Hala reaches into her burglar bag, tosses the iron stone to Persephone, tosses the unicorn horn back to Tamarcon, tosses Rum Runner's Choice to Samantha, tosses back what Luna put in. Forgot what you put in. Catch. Yeah,
Sure,
lock it back
that-
to her. Catch.
Very much appreciate it. Be very proud of never to try to cast my magic without this little thing.
I don't know what I would have done if I lost this.
She's a good house,
Lucky
though.
you. I don't gamble.
To you, Swift
I
Hollow.
noticed.
I am in your debt.
No, please.
Yeah, she just starts
surprised
drinking the
No
Rum Runner's
offense,
Choice straight from the
but,
bottle.
Surprised that the goddess of luck shines so favorably on me tonight. It was not my intention. But when you did not have a hand, it seemed like I always did. Very favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So they
When the
wonderful night.
Valiant Vanguard prospers, I prosper and you prosper. I do not benefit from stealing, so to speak, from us.
I was just looking for a bit of fun, but whew, very profitable fun. I will have to
When
say,
I get the time.
I have other things I
Oh.
need to seek out in the night. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes,
See you
indeed. I
tomorrow,
still need to
tomorrow.
work on your poison.
Wonderful.
Oh, we need to prepare ourselves for this fight in the arena. Make sure you're tip-top and ready. I think it's going to be quite the challenge, even with our reputations preceding us. And, Swift Hollow, if you are so inclined, I'd be happy to take a look at that marvelous little puzzle sphere you acquired. I have nothing but time.
Give me some time with the other items. I can identify if they're magical in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. She hands over the magic items to the magic people to figure out.
Sure.
With that, Swithala will spend the rest of her days trying to tinker with the poison.
Have any questions? I love a good map. If you want me to look at this other one.
Is the map.
So Tamarcon will get the map. I want to look at the puzzle.
There are a couple
ball.
maps, right?
There's one.
Complete map.
Basically, it's just one single scroll. And
okay.
Oh, yeah. Incomplete map. Valuable treasures out here in the White Sea.
But all of that will come to pass in due time, as... What was that, Omen?
Oh, moving on the scene? Sure. we will find ourselves, after doing some things in the night, doing some things in the early morning, the bells and horns will ring in town. You'll be gathered to the heart of Roka, where it seems that crowds have gathered. You find yourselves at the center of this great and big coliseum, being ushered through these walkways, leading you through what looks like a series of barracks inside. They tell you the general rules of this fight as you are preparing for what is to come. It seems to be this essentially a series of rounds, 3 in total. 2 that you must get past in between, having half an hour to catch your breath, patch your wounds, and tend to anything you might, any grievances or sicknesses you might pick up in the ring. Some of the things you fight may be more than just teeth and claws. And on that final fight, you'll have to basically fight for your lives against the great serpent Pharaoh. But for those who need weapons, those who need arms, the barracks are a supply of all of them. They're pretty simple metals and steels. If you need extra arrows or javelins, they have javelins to provide. Basically giving you a bit of a respite between your matches and offering you the proper tools you need if you currently lack them. So if there's anything you guys feel like you need to pick up before a fight, you can grab it from the barracks.
Oh, okay, yeah. Infinite healing potions. Got it.
Not that, unfortunately.
Here's
You
a
can
Holy
use your healing
Avenger
potions.
Quildor, and here's a +9
Oh,
shield.
How does your short rest work? Right? Is it 15 and then it's 30 and then it's 45? Or
Yes, sir.
okay,
I think it's 15:30 an hour, I think.
15:30 an hour.
and it's 3 rounds, so pretty much we get a short rest in between each one.
Basically.
Seems like it.
Okay.
Alrighty.
That means
As
fighter, use all of your things.
As in time, you guys will be lured out, probably the earlier morning, about 10 o'clock.
Lured.
Pulled into the arena and set towards its center as you are greeted by the crowds who have been building. You can hear the drums of war surrounding you, and the crowds are excited to see what is transpiring as we will send you over to this map. You can arrange yourselves however you want. You're allowed to stand at this center circle. This entire rectangular map seems to stretch out from about 200 feet from one end to the other, but you are surrounded by these magical circles of sorts with strange runes drawn into the hard sandstone beneath you. You are allowed to stand wherever you want in the circle when it begins, but you cannot step outside of it.
During the whole fight or until it
Oh,
starts?
just during the beginning. Basically, you can't go
Okay.
start on the far side.
Okay.
So you
yeah.
get the west, I get the east.
Right behind you, Point Don't Cry.
Don't stand in a single line in case something charges.
As you can hear,
Or something cast
call-
lightning bolt.
calling out over the crowds, a loud voice, louder than you've ever heard it before, echoing throughout this. It looks like there's at least a couple thousand people, maybe even more, filling these seats around you. Welcome, people of Roka, to a once-a-year event, perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime event. The trial of beasts, taken forth by these individuals I'm sure you've come to know and love in this city. The name of those walking among you, the new dragon slayers of this generation. You hear that, Ramses? You are no longer alone. These individuals have decided to take on this great challenge, facing not men or machine, no. They will face down the beasts of this land. What say you, valiant vanguard? Will you stand before the challenge? Will you take every task before you with bravery and valor? Now is your last chance to retreat.
What fun would that
Swift
be?
Hollow is in sort of Black Moon Initiative garb, as seen on her brightly sewn sort of regalia of leather armor for the honor of my house.
Ew.
I just flipped the guy off.
Give your speech, Samantha.
The valiant vanguard eagerly accepts and will defeat all challenges. Bask in our glory and our triumph.
I love the initiative. Very well. I will tell you, though, these trials are not mere entertainment. They are history of our world, and you have chosen the oldest of our histories. Long before the days of the dragons that you have slain,
There were titans that walked these lands, and among them, beasts of teeth and claw. These beasts were servants of the titans, until one day a particularly intelligent and capricious creature drove them out from under their rule and helped wage a war that forged the world we know today. But those battles were bloody, and many since forgotten, but not by we, the oldest people of this nation.
As you can see all around you, beneath these, looks like large stands to the walls to the north and south of you. Maybe these guys go about 50 feet high. You can see those like cages beginning to lift up.
The beasts of this land grew intelligent, clever, fighting as if they were warriors today, striking down those who obediently serve the titans.
As fists begin to pound against the earth. As Tamar Khan, you can spot a familiar sight pulling themselves out of this, the edges of these cages. Seem to be a swarm. It looks about like 8 or so apes just pounding their knuckles into the ground and dragging themselves forward. They seem to be like lifting their heads and studying you guys.
And before them, creatures, once lost to this world, but thanks to the magic of our great city, have been restored to their power. The most faithful servants of the titans, those granted their teeth, their claws, their voracity, those who fell with their masters.
As inside, your claws scrape against the ground. Creatures running on 2 legs, quite quickly and fervorously towards you guys. A strange sight that I don't think any of you have really seen before, maybe only heard of in stories. The original followers of the Titans, known as the Behemoths. You see wolf-sized creatures, only about 4 feet high, long bodies, covered head to toe in tufts of feathers and scales, running together in packs, their heads sort of tilting and turning towards you guys. As these creatures appear, these furthest circles around you guys begin to glow as well.
They had their champions among them, great warriors who rose in honor and pride to cut down the enemy, to establish who would rule the new world.
And in these magic circles glow and flash, you can see it looks to be a variety of creatures suddenly get summoned from within, from the far western side. Flashes of gold, as it looks like, almost for a moment, bones stand there, unmoving, undead, until this flashlight rolls over them like fire, and where the fire passes, what's left on these bones is not burned away, and it's instead restored, as you see golden fur and long flowing manes appear within, as you see a pair of well-endowed, large, powerful muscles ripping across their body, powerful lions appear. And on the eastern side, same flash, another rising of bones from the ground as fire rushes across them. But these creatures do not stand on their 4 legs. Instead, they stand quite tall, their heads long and filled with jagged teeth, that when they get covered with this fire, you don't see any feathers, but scales coat them head to toe, and as they turn, their heads snap open with mouths full of teeth, their heads turning sideways to catch you like the eyes of a bird. These large red-scaled creatures trying to catch a sight onto you guys as a hunter would their prey.
But this would be no ordinary fight without knowing who we are bestowed upon by. We have Titan Slayers here, creatures who have killed a great blooded creature of the Titans, the dragons themselves. So what fun would it be for them to fight their followers and not their champions? Old people of Roka, ancient elves who've lived long since you've last seen them. Call them now. They need your words. Conjure them.
As inside, you can hear within the crowds divided words being chanted. You can actually see some of you sharpened eyes, people pounding their fists into their chest, shouting out, Ozaru! Ozaru! Another half of the crowd stomping their feet hard into the stone, echoing across the actual stands themselves. Tyrant! Tyrant! As these circles closest to you flash with great golden fire, and huge skeletons appear in each, fire rolling from their feet up to their head and bestowing flesh upon them. To the west, most notably to you, Tamar Khan, a 20-foot tall creature stands, hunched in back, body covered head to toe in red, not fur, but hair. A massive ape standing before you opens his mouth and lets loose this horrible roar to the crowds. And to you, Quildor, to the west, another creature standing on its two legs, covered in this fire that reveals flesh behind it. A sight very similar to what you once fought before. All of you once fought before. A large beast covered in scales, covered in rippling muscle, but its hands are not long and held to the ground. There are no wings on this dragon's back. Instead, it holds itself forward on two great stomping legs, its body basically lined with a set of, looks like large blue spines, and its head a massive maw that turns to face you with gleaming blue eyes as its mouth opens and tyrant roars. As the arena shakes, the crowd cheers, and with the sound of a rolling bell, your announcer announces the battle. Valiant Vanguard, I pray you survive and grant us an entertaining fight. Let the arena match begin! As that is where we will end tonight's session, with the Valiant Vanguard facing it off against a chapter of history. Titan slayers themselves, champions of beasts, both alive today and long forgotten, facing off before them now as their enemies.
Oh,
I did not know we were gonna go right into the thingamabopper. I was planning on using a thing I got, but that's okay.
Gotta get in the arena.
Man, this is how you get me excited for next
So
session.
I'm gonna say Avengers Assemble and just use my thing. Thanks.
Sure, you can do that in the barracks while you're getting ready.
Yeah.
I was gonna leak everyone's mind too.
Yeah.
Telepathic fun.
That's okay.
But we'll take. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. There'll be time for.
We'll have a flashback episode. If you stand before the giant
for the barracks.
Don't worry.
It'll be the cold open. We won't even do a recap. We'll just come right into the barracks of what happened. It's fine. But oh boy, I'm so excited. I'm so happy for you now, Mel. Cause you get dinosaurs. Hopefully you get dinosaurs. Dinos are great. Oh, that was great. I had a fucking awesome time. I hope you guys did it as well. Hanging out with us tonight, watching, and going on our little roller coaster gambling adventure was a ton of fun. And I hope you want to come back to see more, because Online Head Gaming, there is always more D&D to be had. With 3 games a week, we'll be coming right back at it again this Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, as the Oracle's Chosen have just fought off a war band of centaurs, berserked and enraged at their, well, shame before their titan god Sidon. And now they have been tossed to the wind and rain as the Oracle's Chosen press on towards the Mithril Mines and the forges within. Can they convince the Forge Keeper to continue her quest in aiding these little mortal settlers against their quest against the Titans? Will they be able to evade or defeat the Cerberus within? And what has happened to the lair of Kristrax, the gemstone dragon? These questions and more will hopefully be answered as they explore the ruins of the dwarven citadel of the Brightstone clan. So be sure to tune in and find out. And then we'll be coming right back at it with the whole gang being back together, the Apex Alliance. Woo! This Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, you get to find out what lies in store with one mysterious and knowledgeable Janeway. What knowledge she has on the portals and how to fix the problem that's dragged us here in the first place. What adventure lies within? What is the motivation behind those crazed zealots that have sealed away the ancient temple to which our answers most likely lie? Those questions and more will hopefully also be answered, maybe with a little bit of fighting, maybe a little bit of scrapping, who knows? So tune in this Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern as well, as things are heating up in all 3 games right here on Lionhead Gaming, and you don't want to miss any of it. And to make sure you don't miss any of it, be sure to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord as we post updates and changes to the schedule, so that way you can get in right when the show starts. In case there's any delays or alterations to the schedule, you want to be the first ones to know. So, with that, I want to thank you all one more time so much for watching. Be sure to join the Discord if you're interested, and we're going to go ahead and host someone wonderful playing a little D&D themselves, if there's anyone still around. So, with that, I want to say, as always, may your dice roll 20s, and you always make your saves.
Later, y'all.
Toodles.
Bye.
Witches